Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MotoOption Supercross. From Oswego, New York, riding for Underground RC, number 39, Caleb Hall. From Marmora, New Jersey, riding for Heckman Productions SYS Racing, number 4, Jeremy Smith. From Tampa, Florida, riding for JIBR.co, 2021 MX Simulator National Champion, number 5, Tyler Lang. From Lillington, North Carolina, riding for TSCZ Productions, number 11, Luke Sullivan. From Watkins Glen, New York, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, number 12, Braden Castellaneta. From Mattawan, Michigan, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, number 78, Jacob Hubbard. From Shawnigan Lake, Canada, riding for District Designs, number 24, Colby Eagland. From France, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, 2018 Supercross champion, number 7, Alexis Leclerc.
Rewind it.
Check the tape.
Win the Anaheim opener in 2000. Braden Carter's going to win tonight in Anaheim. Through to win the Seattle Supercross.
2022 Supercross champion.
From Costa Mesa, California, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, your 2-time and defending Supercross champion, number 1, Braden Carter.
Someone like me with the
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round 14 of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship, live here on Start Your Systems, Init Esports on Twitch and ESTV. My name is Kellen Brower, alongside Andrew Wood tonight. Apologies in advance for the microphone situation. Had a little bit of problems before we got started here tonight. You might also notice we started like a minute late, so we had to default to an old microphone setup that I've used a little bit in the past. So if I sound a little bit weird, we'll try to clean it up throughout the night. But yeah, excited to bring you guys the action tonight from East Rutherford. We've made it this far in the season, and finally, Andrew, we have our first East-West showdown of the year. The 250 guys meeting up, both coasts finally combining. This is going to be a lot of fun to see who comes out on top here tonight.
Yeah, I feel like I've been waiting for this. I ask about it almost every week, like when is it happening? And it feels so much later into the season than normal, but I'm glad it's finally here. We got 3 classes to go over qualifying now before we start mixing up those 250 guys. So I'm super excited. Looks like we're going to go check it out.
Yeah, let's roll into our qualifying times from here tonight. First of all, looking at our 450 class, of course, as Tyler Lang has gone fastest at a 52.5. And if you remember back to last week at Atlanta, Lang was also fastest in qualifying there. Didn't turn into a great result in the main event for him, but it seems that Tyler Lang is on a bit of a roll of late in terms of finding his speed and his form late in this Supercross Championship. And while it's not as close as we want it to be with Carter and Leclerc, it's still fun to have some fresh faces getting into the mix down the stretch here.
Yeah, it's really cool to see different guys kind of step up, you know, if they've been making slow gains all year and then coming in the fastest qualifier. We are back to a regular Supercross style track, so it's good to see Tomic up there. But yeah, Tyler Lang getting up there, man. He's just been on fire lately, and I think he can definitely be in the mix for the main event win here tonight as well.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at all of our qualifying here tonight because we have 2 different ones to go through. And to start off in 250 West, well, look at that. A bit of an unfamiliar name, I guess, at the top of these 250 West standings. Of course, most people know Grant Harlan nowadays as the absolute shredder in the 450 Supercross class in real life, riding for Man Luck Rock River Racing, constantly making main events, getting up inside of the top 15. Well, he used to race Sim a little whiles back, and it's been a while since we've seen him, but look at this. Fastest qualifier tonight on a 54 flat back racing with us. Kind of cool to see Grant back. Interesting to see another face in the mix in this 250 class as well, and at a showdown, no less.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see where he slots in after not really seeing him all year or in a long time. But 54.0 as well. He's only about half second off the top 450 guys, so that's impressive there. And then kind of your usual suspects there, Shirley, Tharp getting up there, Holyhead, they've all been fast recently. So it's going to be so fun. I can't wait to check out the other 250 class as well and kind of see where these guys are fitting in, see if one coast is faster than the other.
Yeah, well, let's jump over that 250 East and see. Oh, look at that. Bryce Whelan actually goes fastest overall at a 53.890. So our championship leader there on that 250 East region goes fastest. And a reminder before we jump into this, these guys will have split heat races tonight. So we'll see a West heat and an East heat, and then they'll combine for the LCQ and main event. But interesting to see, even though he is a little bit faster, still time's very close. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is going to be fun. He qualified just over a 10th faster than our other coast rider, so it's cool to see that. He's got, saying I'm the fastest 250 guy here tonight, but he's going to have to go mix it up later on. And yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting once we do come to the LCQ. They're normally our favorite race of the night, but it's even going to be way more exciting tonight. And then I can't even wait for the 250 main as well, all combined finally.
Well, let's quickly run through our standings as we roll into tonight. There's not a whole lot in terms of championship picture to talk about. Braden Carter up 22 on Alexis Leclerc. Pretty much the only 2 guys in the 450 class that really have a shot at the title anymore. And Leclerc really has to take some huge inroads to Carter down the stretch here in these last 4 rounds. 250 West, a little bit more interesting. Jet Holyhead won last time out at the Triple Crown in Glendale, moved to 11 back of Seth Shirley, so very interesting dynamic in that 250 West region. And then 250 East also got a little bit tighter after Rasmus Balzer won last week in Atlanta and closed it down to 12 back of Bryce Whelan. But look, Alec Horn, Talon Zollers, Matt Cromie, all still within that 1 race distance, so this could be a crucial point, not really just for East, but for West as well. Both of these championships having so much on the line for both of them here tonight in this 250 East-West showdown. Going to be fun to watch. So that's our championship picture rolling into tonight. Let's go ahead and jump into the server and check out where we're at with that. As I'm still looking like Luke Sullivan here in the server because I took a screenshot of him earlier today to show off how great he looks rolling into the evening. We're going to sharpen things up a little bit here and just kind of make it a little bit better for you guys on the stream watching this back. All right, there we go.
And then, if I can move forward, are we loading up? Oh, they just got UID grab done. So actually, why not? Let's roll around as at Luke Sullivan here inside of MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and talk about this track a little bit. Awood, if you want to show us around, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah. I think you're the faster, Luke, by the way. We're going to have a race-off between you guys. A little double in here, big rhythm off the start. I do like how we have some of these, but they've been pretty hectic here. So going to be interesting to see what kind of rhythms you can switch up there. Going to see if people are getting this big triple out or going inside, double single out, launching across that start straight. Then back and forth, which I like this because it extends the lap times. Then we got a split turn right there, elevated section. Going to see, interesting to see how that works. A lot of times, just like in real life, they figure out which is going to be the faster kind of line and keep running it all night. But like we said, there's different classes, 250 and 450, and how the track always breaks down. Going to be interesting to see what they do. Pretty long looking rhythm or whoop section here into a
tough whoop section.
Tough, yeah, clearly. They've been tough all year, but these guys, man, the fact that they can get them down as consistently as they do is pretty insane. Let's see, coming back here across the start straight, does look like an old Minneapolis track. Definitely this section, not sure about the rhythms themselves. Big double right there, I remember that. Double into this corner here, and then we got a long rhythm section coming back here into a left-hand 90. So it looks like it might just be triple, 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 but actually probably going to get some quads in there by some of the 450 guys. Left-hand 90 into a big Supercross triple, and then back across the start straight. So I don't know if you've ridden this track much. See if there's a different rhythm here. Going to go for the triple.
I think it's going to be triple in, quad triple, if I remember right. It's a little bit tough when we put this up on the big screen because there's a tiny bit of delay.
Yeah, it's not the
easiest. But definitely can ride this track a little bit better than I'm showing. I always try to do like a couple minutes on the track at least before I start doing all the work that we do to put the stream together on the night, just so that I can obviously feel out some of the lines, and then also so that I can maybe show it off on the broadcast later, but then always end up kind of sucking when we actually show it off on the broadcast, so it doesn't really matter how much I ride it. Never look good.
Yeah, that's why I would always try to see if I could put in a couple laps before we would stream as well, just so I know kind of where's there going to be a quad these guys can pull out. You know, is this double or triple in the rhythm going to be a little bit faster, and kind of so I can at least have some sort of idea what's going on. But most time I just got to jump right in, and it's fun to see you at least put some laps in before the first gate drops.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we get to roll right into this tonight, into what almost, I guess, feels like a main event, because we have 250 Heat 1, which we're not sure if it's going to be East or West. I assume that it's a coin flip type of situation. But either way, we're going to see the elite of the elite in either coast right from the get-go. And on top of that, they have to go right into the main event out of the top 9, and we've seen some guys that have finished outside of the top 10 this year that we would classify as guys that could even win a race, let alone win the showdown here tonight. So this is crunch time right away for these guys. You've got to make it in that top 9 to make it into tonight's racing. Yeah, and if you think that you're normally a top 11 guy, maybe there's one coast that's a little bit deeper, so you might not get any of your coast guys in if you do end up having to go to the LCQ. So there's a lot of pressure on these guys first race out. And I'm going to be keeping an eye on Jet Holyhead and Rasmus Balzer, especially after his win last week with Balzer. I'm kind of curious to see the reason I like these showdowns is that you got more kind of people that can finish in between. If he's going to go 1-2 with his nearest championship competitor, maybe you get the other coast guys fitting in there and you go 1-6. And now that 11 and 12 point gap that the 250 riders have, goes back, goes down to 3 or something. So this is a huge weekend for these guys, especially the ones trying to make a late season charge into this championship. It's going to be fun to watch for sure, and we get to fire things off right from the get-go here tonight in East Rutherford, round 14 of MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross. If you're just joining us for the first time this year, first of all, welcome. This is a professional MX Simulator racing competition. MX Simulator is a game that was released in 2008 and has been updated several times over the years. It's gotten a little bit kind of slowed down on the updates in the last maybe 5 or 6 years. So I know that to some people this maybe looks outdated, but the reason why most people end up playing this game is entirely down to the core physics of the game, which definitely much more closely resemble real-life physics than the arcade predecessors or followers that have come after it. So a lot of people that are more core motocross fans tend to play this game or MX bikes if they're really, really into the sport and like playing games that feel realistic. So that's why we end up having a professional racing series on this game. We've been at it for 14 years in MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross, and it just continues to get better and better, I feel like, in terms of the racing aspect of it year after year. So glad to be back here, and glad that we've almost gotten to the end of the season as well, just so we get to wrap up some titles soon and crown some AMA Esports Supercross champions. It looks like we are starting off with 250 West first up. Cade Matherly, Frank Jackson. There's our championship leader, Seth Shirley. Trying to look and see. Oh, there is Grant Harlan. So Grant Harlan is here tonight. In the flesh and in person. I know that there's been some speculation going around about some interesting play there, but we're not going to say anything about that until we know for a fact that it's true. So calm down, people. We're just going to roll with the punches here tonight.
That's old news, right?
And hopefully it plays out good for the good rather than for the bad. So here we go. 250 West heat race starting off right now. Top 9 go to the main event. Everybody else at the LCQ. We're off and running in East Rutherford. Oh, looks like our championship leader got hung up into the first corner. I didn't see if he stayed up. He might actually went down. So Frank Jackson comes out with the hole shot. Looks like he's got Matherly right in tow. And then Maxime Vanderbeek launches through the middle on the 29. So the Impact KTM goes to the front early on in this heat race.
Yeah, see, Matherly stacked up that triple out right there. A little hard for those 250 guys to get, it looks like, at least while you're in traffic here. Electing to go inside here is Vanderbeek. He tries the inside quad triple. Wow, that's huge, especially on that 250. First one into the whoop section, leading Matherly and a bunch of other dudes, though. Even though a couple people went down on the start, there's a huge train right there.
Yeah, a couple guys getting hung up in the background. Frank Jackson and Timmy Briscoe almost coming to blows right there. But you can see how close they are at the end of the first lap because, like I said, this is essentially a main event. This is all of your top 250 West guys nose to tail off the start, more or less. And we'll definitely have to go back and find where Seth Shirley ended up after crashing going to that first corner. Last thing he wants is to miss a main event right in the middle of this tunnel fight as Matherly goes to the inside, and it absolutely catapults Vanderbeek off the inside of the racetrack right there. So Frank Jackson, who had actually slid out, is going to benefit from this. He's going to go into the race lead. Timmy Briscoe up into second. Padani now up into third. We got Mads Bull there in fourth. Braden Tharp. Oh, and Bull into the back, and it's a huge stack up at the end of the rhythm section. Several guys down the inside. A couple more going down. We see Grant Harlan on the 349 slicing through. I think that may have been Jet Holyhead also in the mix as well. I'm trying to find the red plates, though. Where is Seth Shirley? Was he still even behind this group? Well, there's Holyhead going into the berm right there after all the chaos commenced, and it looks like he is outside of a transfer spot. Yeah, so he's in 15th spot. And wow, Shirley in 18th spot. So Holyhead and Shirley really having a tough go of it here in this West heat race. Somebody just absolutely getting tossed right there. But this is really bad news already for Shirley. Even worse so for Holyhead, because this would have been his opportunity if Shirley missed the main event, had to go through the LCQ, maybe even missed it there. This could have been Holyhead's opportunity to pounce, but right now they're both outside of a transfer spot and have a long ways to go to even get to it.
Yeah, they both need to focus on getting up there. Holyhead, especially being behind in the championship points there, you got to get through yourself and just hope that your competitor misses out. I thought with Padani framing that section and 5 guys going down that would be huge, and we would see these guys instantly pass up into a transfer, but they were so far back they couldn't even capitalize on that. Look at Holyhead, though. 4 passes in the last 2 sections here as he's just been riding past riders down. So if he stays up, I don't think he'll have a problem getting in, but Seth Shirley, championship leader, he's a little bit further back, so it's going to be interesting to see. Man, he's still in 18th place.
Still 18th for Shirley as Holyhead goes down the inside of our
Gotta
fastest
be up to
qualifier.
10th.
Grant Harlan, and yeah, that puts Holyhead up to 10th. So if he can get to Padani, he will make it into a transfer spot as Shirley continues to have to charge forward in the whoops there in the background. All that's kicking off for the championship picture as Frank Jackson continues to run away with it out front here, about halfway done with this heat race, 6 minutes plus a lap. And Frank Jackson is all but in control of this thing at this point with Timmy Briscoe settling into second. Schaefer moved up to third with all that chaos in this corner right here. He's going to go off the track. Matherly's going to close up, but Matherly actually got passed by Tharp, who goes down the inside. He moves up into fourth, so our top 5 kind of breaking away a little bit, and then it's just all kicking off back here. McIntosh 6th, Stevenson 7th, Zimmerman was in 8th. He just went down. Holyhead goes into a transfer spot. That's P9 now for White Drizzle himself as he continues to try to march forward, get a couple more guys. He's got 3 riders basically right in front of him before that little breakaway in the top 5 that he's going to have to run up to. But this is the big news for Holyhead to finally make it into that final transfer spot as he continues trying to catch up to Padani, Stevenson, and the rest of the field.
Yeah, we're already 4 minutes into this race. Time goes by fast when you're running heat race length and you're down that far and all you're worried about is getting in. So props to him for doing that, and Stevenson right here with a good ride as well. These guys, yeah, it's been going down with this basically 5 to 15, just so much action happening, and that huge gap back to Shirley. But Stevenson with a great ride so far here, hitting that triple, quad, triple, totally clean. 250 riders able to do that. I'm surprised the 450s, I don't know, we might even see something a little bit bigger with the skills that some of those guys have. But so far, good racing here so far, and it's going to be electric just to kind of see the storylines. Oh, Stevenson, right as I was saying, he was riding great, goes down, but should
I think he's going to get passed by a group of guys. Vanderbeek leading the charge there, so Vanderbeek back up into a final transfer spot right there as he was down early on in that chaos that he got collected in with Cade Matherly. Grant Harlan still back here. Stevenson getting up, and then Zimmerman, and now Shirley coming through the whoops the opposite direction. He's got a minute plus a lap left on the clock here. He's in up to 13th place, I should say, and he's still trying to charge forward. He's got maybe 2 laps to go after, well, 3 laps maybe, I guess, because the guy's going to come around. No, it'll be 2 laps to go next time by. So 3 to go right now for Shirley, and he is just doing everything he can to close this gap down. He put in a 56.2, which is a really solid race lap. Not quite down there with that qualifying time stuff just yet, but this is going to be crunch time for him to try to make it in.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, the guys in front of him dicing it up. Almost, did they both just go down? They did. So that's 2 points or 2 spots right there. So he's only needs 2 more positions. If you can see at the top right mini map, they're halfway through the whoops and at the end of this rhythm section. So not too far for him. That's a lot of time to ask to make up. If you're Shirley right now, you just have to do as best you can. Keep putting in consistent laps. You might have to hope that they go down or make a couple mistakes, but all you need to do is focus on yourself, and you can worry about a last corner pass at the end if you really need it. But he just dropped a 55.6, his fastest lap of the race, last lap around, and he just really doesn't want to go to the LCQ, but you can't put yourself there on purpose. If you've had some mistakes, you can't do it yourself. Maybe you had some run-ins with other riders. He's just got to focus on being as smooth as possible.
Down the inside here after the triple, almost getting a little front end tuck right there. He's got some time to try to make up here as the white flag is going to wave this time by for our race leaders as they're going through the whoops right now. It's still pretty close, and Timmy Briscoe has actually taken over the race lead here going on to the final lap of the 250 West heat race right here. So Timmy Briscoe coming out of nowhere a little bit, trying to win this heat race, going to the main event with first gate pick. Frank Jackson still right there, Tharp, Schaefer, and then Matherly just off the tail of this group, so that front 5 has stayed the same. Holyhead has kind of caught them all. Then Padani, McIntosh, and Vanderbeek still in transfer spots. Harlan over the line with Shirley right behind him. So Shirley's done as much as he can to try to catch up to this group, and he's going to need some help, I think, on this last lap. Maybe some crashing with how everyone is close together, but maybe they also just down 2 wheels with this thing winded down.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, but the guys that are in the spot, it's feels a little bit more important than a normal heat race, I guess you could say. If you're up front,
Jackson,
maybe not trying to push it.
Thinking an inside move, puts Briscoe up into the tough blocks, and actually Briscoe, fortunate not to go down right there, but it does put Jackson into the lead. Out of the final turn he comes, or 2 corners to go, I should say, into the final corner, and Frank Jackson's going to come through, steal the heat race victory. It's Tharp second, Schaefer third, Briscoe fourth. Matherly is going to get pushed to 5th, it looks like. Yeah, so 5th, 6th for Holyhead, 7th McIntosh, 8th for Padani, and Vanderbeek does cross the line in 9th as Shirley and Harlan are absolutely dogfighting into the last corner for 10th. This is just first gate pick in the LCQ, and Harlan puts Shirley down, so it's going to be Harlan crossing in 10th, Stevenson 11th, Shirley 12th, Weigman there in 13th, and Parker, Brune, Bull, Thorson, Zimmerman, Rogers, King, all going to go to the LCQ as well. And just want to let you guys know in chat, I did see all your messages about my microphone. I don't know if there's anything more I can do about it. Unfortunately, I had one of my main microphones break this afternoon, and I had a backup microphone that I thought worked, but that one also did not seem to work. So just going off of my headset microphone tonight gave Awood the better microphone because he's a little bit further away and the cord stretches a little bit farther. So I apologize. You're going to have to deal with the fact that my microphone's going to be a little bit, whatever it is, drowned out or whatever tonight because it's just my headset mic. So apologies. Hopefully you guys are okay with that.
We battle through adversity here, guys. We're going to we'll get there when it's time.
We'll get there when it's
Maybe
time.
Next week. But man, that was awesome. I know it wasn't even for a position that mattered, but that little last corner pass, when you're Seth Shirley, you can't. I feel like you got to know you're not going to come out on the winning end of someone that's actually racing 450 Supercross and trying to do a little, inside outside battle there in the last corner with Racecraft. Just a little bit, he's built a little bit different, but great ride by Jackson, really pushing the issue there at the end. He wanted that win. First gate pick seating, maybe not into the main, depending on who has the faster heat from our 250 East Coast coming up. But I mean, good to get that win, get one better gate pick, and get yourself set up a little bit better for the main. And now, Shirley's going to have to, we got a couple storylines unfolding. Shirley's going to have to figure out if he can make it through, kind of lay it down in the LCQ. And Holyhead's going in thinking, man, this championship could be mine after tonight. So going to be a great night of racing here as we get ready for the next 250 East Coast heat race coming up. Basically their little main event, and see which 9 of these get into the main event as well tonight.
Yeah, well, this one is going to feature our outright fastest qualifier, Bryce Whelan, who ended up on a 53.8 in qualifying for his sake here tonight. So for Whelan, just trying to, I guess, limit the damage based on what we saw last week at Atlanta. First of all, didn't even put a qualifying time in and had to roll into the night show with no time. They let him in based on the champion's provisional because he's the reigning champion and the points leader. And he did make it in the main event, but then didn't ride up to his capabilities in that main event. And Balzer picked up his 3rd win of the season, so Balzer has the ball rolling, theoretically speaking. And it's going to be interesting to see if Whelan, with that fastest qualifier, can fight back here tonight.
Yeah, Whelan, I mean, he's one that we can never really count out when it comes to the main event. His qualifying times have never been super shiny, especially all year, and then he came out with a hot start to this season, but had a couple little mix-ups recently, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can do, if he can get some confidence here tonight, get it started early after this heat race. And but as we could see, or as we saw in that last race, anything can happen here. You get a bad start, it's a short race, just like a normal heat race. So that to get into the main event when it's the fastest guys in the field going after it, you really got to watch out there. You can start falling apart pretty quick.
Absolutely. All right, so this is 250 East Heat Race, a.k.a. 250 Heat number 2 of this East-West Showdown. And this is the last time that we'll see these guys essentially not together. We'll see them in this heat race, and then when we get to the last chance qualifier, even though, of course, it won't be all of your heavy hitters, except Seth Shirley obviously is in the LCQ, that's when it'll be combined. So the 11 riders that don't make the main event from this heat race behind the 9 that do will join the other 11 riders that didn't make it from the West heat race to start off the night, and that will sort of be an East-West showdown before the showdown. You have the LCQ chaos, which, as you and I both know, is always a lot of fun, and then you tack on top of that it's basically guys that would normally finish 10th in the main event battling for the P1 position. Definitely a lot of fun to sort all that out. So we'll get to that when it's time. But right now it's time to go racing for 250 Heat number 2, 250 East Heat race here tonight at East Rutherford. And it's Balzer versus Chromie versus Whelan versus everybody else on the gate. Who's going to get the all-important hole shot? Who's going to the main event? 250 East Heat race is underway. Out of the middle, looks like the 46 of Alec Horn's going to get to the corner first. Balzer pushes him out on the inside, and it will be the 35 of Rasmus Balzer coming through and picking up the whole shot in this heat race. He's got Bryce Whelan right on his tail, and that's Colin Allen also as well, who was right up at the front of the main event in Atlanta last week. Whelan down the inside, puts a pass on Balzer, but two guys jump over top. It's Allen to the race lead, West to second, Whelan to third.
Yeah, Colin Allen with a great capitalization there, a couple mistakes, but look at that train right there. I don't think, okay, there's one rider, but I only saw, Bryce Whelan down huge on the triple out. Just comes up short, not really sure how he did that. If he got the quad before, a couple other guys going down, though, that could help him out. There's 3 guys down already, 4 right there stacking up, so come on, you got to get up.
Yeah, he's still
he
stuck.
Doesn't capitalize on any of those guys that were down. Now finally making a pass here up the inside, leaving the whoops, but another championship leader with a bad start here and going to have to fight back in the short race. Is he going to be able to come around and do what Seth Shirley could not?
Who would have guessed the red plates dualies? It would have been so heavy on these riders tonight as Whelan down early, and he's going to get pushed wide as Hunter Plum took a little bit of a shot at him there. And he has got a long ways to go. 17th spot at the end of the first lap there for Bryce Whelan. Meanwhile, his nearest championship rival, Rasmus Balzer, has gone to the race lead, and look at that. He's already got a decent little lead as he's checked out front, and this is already bad news for Bryce Whelan. We haven't even finished 2 laps of the heat race.
Yeah, imagine if we had 2 changes if we had both championship leaders miss the main and have a huge change at this first East-West showdown that we have here tonight. But Balzer just coming off that confidence. He already has a huge whip right there. 2 wins on the season, I think, now, with last weekend and the one earlier on before he got suspended. Lost a lot of points, but now he's back and he's trying to make a last-minute charge for this title. And he's showing us that he's got the confidence here tonight. Had to start with all those guys behind him, and he's got like a 5.5-second gap right there back to Holtze, Tom Quinot, Jared Gumison. I don't even know half these people. Alec Horn, there we go. Dominic Paolini, Talon Zollers, Colin Allen, that is a great name, and Matt Cromie coming in 9th. But look at how just far he is checked out. Trying to get this dominating ride.
Oh,
that was sick.
Line. I guess that must be the line those guys are doing in qualifying, right? Because you can go to that outside and do that on-off just clear as day if you roll up onto the top of the berm. But to hit that inside line and still pop up onto the table, pretty obvious that's a fast line if they can get it at any point during the race.
Whelan is dead last, scrolled across in 19th,
Wow.
27 seconds behind. So it looks like 2 championship contenders in the LCQ here tonight. But yeah, Whelan, that's one of those lines where anytime you see those, they kind of do them a lot. You're trying to do that step onto the table. Like it's just so fun and so fast to do. But I mean, I guess he has a 6-second gap, but leading the race right now, I think I'd just be kind of saving that for after when I'm practicing before the real main.
Well, Balzer has a tendency to be a little bit sendy, and so far it's given him just a 12-point deficit in this championship. I think maybe just don't change, just keep doing what you've been doing to get to that point in the first place, and clearly he is not changing one bit. Back to this battle, though. Quinault has gotten by Evan Holt to move up into second place, and Holtze's now slipped back into the clutches of Alec Horn. There's a bit of a freight train going on right here. Horn, Colin Allen, Jared Gummison, Chrome Dog off the back of this group with Talon Zollers and Noah Viney also coming through. So this whole little train mixed up inside of transfer spots right now. Having a good fight basically from second back to 9th.
Yeah.
And you can't forget that there's a whole group of guys behind them that are trying to make this main event.
Yeah, Noah Viney's in the scariest spot in the world. I mean, maybe this whole back 3, but knowing that you're 1 out, you're trying to go fast and push up, but all these guys are so close too. One little mistake, and these guys can all just start wadding up into each other. You guys all have a gap. You're like trying to push forward and get away, but you also just want to ride smooth. So we're going to get a couple dualies there, it seems like.
Yeah, everyone tossing them. We have a great view on the triple this week, by the way. Forget who sets up the cams. It may be T-Link sometimes, but shout out to whoever did it, because sometimes I fix their work, but this time it was A-OK. That's a good little whip shot right there we got down at the end. By the way, Noah Viney's been caught from behind. Here comes Seth Carr closing up on the 13. This is the battle for the final transfer spot right now. 250 East Heat Race, and Carr thinking about making a move already if he can size something up. Actually going to quad to the inside before the whoops. They're rubbing number plates into the corner.
Ooh.
Carr's going to close the door. Viney cuts back up underneath. They're still almost bar to bar. Viney down the inside after the whoops. Oh, tease them up. They both go down, but it's going to be okay because Seth Crotty was on the ground. No,
Yes.
who is that? Who is it? Jared Gummison. Timing gate's catching me out. Couldn't quite transfer to him. But that actually does allow Viney to stay in the transfer spot. Even though Carr got around him, Viney's still 9th. And now Crotty knocking on the door from behind as Viney jumps off the track. Just gets back on, though, and he's A-OK, still in position.
Yeah, he went for that little payback takeout pass after the whoops. Just slam, kind of put them both on the ground, didn't get anyone off their bike. But if that was me, sometimes Crotty not Crotty,
that's Carr down on the tail of his teammates. So he got guys nose high going through the rhythm section. Was that his teammate that he hit? Alec Horn on the Phil's ride was also down in the rhythm section right there. So Horn allows Viney to go by. Horn picks it up in 8th. Crotty is now in the final transfer spot. Then Gummison, Cole Gress, and then Carson West going down, and he brought Brandon Iger on the 76 with him, trying to find that red plate. It's still back here. Bryce Whelan outside of a transfer spot as time is about to expire. Whelan is doing that option line on-off quad. He's doing everything he can, sending it, trying to get around these guys. Gonna make a couple more passes into the rear tire and
he's
down off the bike right there. So he'd gotten all the way up to about 13th spot and then lays it into that corner right there. Oh, and he gets hit on the inside again right there. So that's gonna put probably the nail in the coffin in this heat race for Whelan. 2 red plate holders potentially going to the LCQ tonight. Unbelievable change of events. We thought we were going to see a showdown in the main event between them. We're going to see a showdown in the last chance qualifier
Yeah,
between
exactly.
those guys.
We don't even have to wait that long, and that's going to be, man, even just more fuel to the fire there that there's already going to be in that LCQ for both these guys. Yeah, there's about 10th place finishers on each coast trying to make it in. Now you got the 2 title contenders thrown in there as well. But, man, it just shows you anything can happen. I really did like Whelan's chances a little bit more than Seth Shirley's were with how close that 7th, 8th, 9th were kind of when he was pushing back through the field. But, man, just goes down there and throws it all away, even though he's showing us he's got the speed, man. Maybe a little bit better start. He keeps hitting that line like that, and maybe he doesn't have any problems in the 250 LCQ.
Yeah, that is unbelievable, that line that those guys are able to hit. I wonder if that becomes a more consistent line with the 450 class. They just have that little extra oomph to get up onto that table. Balzer not doing it right now in the race lead. He is just comfortably quad-tripling through that section and looking A-OK out front as he goes through the whoops. And as I say that, he goes down on the outside of the whoops, but he'll stand it back up and be fine. So Balzer, 12 points down coming into tonight, is going to click off the win here. 250 Heat 2 goes to Balzer, and this is a huge shot across the nose towards Bryce Whelan. Whelan has to make this main event tonight, or Balzer likely walks out of here with the championship lead. Viney gets all the way up to second amidst the chaos. Allen will end up third. You got Horn to the line in fourth. Zollers fifth. Cromie sixth. Crotty seventh. Holt eighth. Quino ends up in ninth, just ahead of Carr. Gummison ends up in 11th. So another thing to think about, that's all the other championship guys mixed in there with Crotty, Cromie, Zollers, Horn. I mean, Colin Allen's been mixed up as well in the front group. That's a huge amount of riders that we normally see battling at the front of these main events already making it through. So saying that in the sense that if you are Bryce Whelan going into the situation in the last chance qualifier, knowing that you're a good starter, you're also not up against the same competition that you normally would be trying to battle for a main event win. Maybe, just maybe, that makes it a little bit easier on your mind going into that you can maybe pull this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, Carr kind of fell back a little bit as well as Gummison outside of the top group, but when you're going into the race and you're saying, okay, there's only really one guy I'm kind of worried about from my coast, it's definitely a little bit easier kind of showing trying to think that you can get inside the top 4 in the 250 LCQ. But, man, these guys got a lot of time, and I'm sure they're going to be going in there trying to settle themselves down, practice riding the track a little bit more as we get the 450s on the track to start their night show program. But, man, great ride by Balzer. Statement ride, 15 seconds over the next fastest guy. Viney with a great comeback ride as well. But Balzer kind of showing us, this championship's not over, especially this isn't our only showdown. We have this one, and we have another one where you can make massive points gains at the end of the series. So going to be interesting to see what happens and if Balzer can keep this momentum flowing. And it's all kind of comes down to what happens in the 250 LCQ.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on in that LCQ coming up in about 30 minutes time. But before we do that, we get to roll into the big dogs here tonight. 450 Heat 1 coming up next. Braden Carter, Alexis Leclerc, the only 2 riders really in it for the championship's sake still. But fastest qualifier tonight going into the evening. Tyler Lang looking to turn things around after a pretty rough season by his standards and hasn't quite got a win yet this season. But we'll see what happens. This is going to be a lot of fun to determine a 450 winner tonight amidst all this shootout drama and see if anything else can happen in this 450 class aside from our championship leaders going 1-2 like we've seen the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I think another interesting thing is the 450 race tonight. You're missing a lot of these guys. They start to race the 450 class on the opposite coast. So I used to love going into Vegas when it was a showdown, and I was missing mains because I sucked, and I wanted all of these like 7 or 8 250 riders that would kind of were in my way taking up main event spots. So some of the guys that you see kind of in the 450 LCQ week in and week out, they're going to probably be up in this main, or they definitely have a better chance to do it. I never really capitalized on it many times, but going to be some different faces probably battling in the 450 LCQ, and also some people getting through the heat races that maybe normally don't and having to kind of save themselves a race, without having to go through the LCQ and do a lot of pressure. So exciting for these guys when you're kind of a bubble guy for the 450 mains to kind of have a little bit opened up field tonight.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to roll right into 450 heat number 1 here coming up and see who's on the gate for this one. Usually we see our fastest qualifier end up in the second heat race, so that should be Lang moving into 450 heat number 2. But yeah, maybe that means we see Carter. Maybe that means we see Leclerc end up in the same heat race, and we get a little bit of a preview of what we can expect rolling into that main event here in just a few moments. We've seen a couple heat races already tonight. Andrew, what do you think about this racetrack so far? Like you said, it's rather similar to some other layouts that we've seen in the past, so we kind of have a sense of an idea of how we expect it to race. But 2 races so far tonight with the lines developing the way that they are. What do you think of this racetrack?
I do think it's pretty fun. I like the split lane kind of. We'll see how the 450 guys are doing. You know, to only see really, I think I only saw it twice with Balzer and Whelan kind of doing that step on the little cheeky line in the split corner. Gonna see if maybe some of these 450 guys do it a little bit more here tonight, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I do like those 2 long rhythms that we really have there, and then the long tricky whoop section into that tight corner where the guys are braking and allows for the inside-outside kind of block pass sort of deal. I do really like that. People are either braking to go to the inside through the whoops, but they're also losing some time. Castaneda already showing us that he's got that line.
And didn't even do the on-off like clean and still quadded in, no problem. Tomasunis is doing it. Noah Baker's doing it. Let me guess. Leclerc's gonna do it. He's just gonna wheelie and just
wheelie across it. Oh,
he's gonna say that. Like, you know what? This line I can make. I can make it faster. I can scrub.
I mean, dude, there's
silly Americans
going like 5th wide onto that table. The first time Balzer hit it, the speed that he hit it with was so nuts, and he was still like scrubbed over, which is why he didn't land it cleanly. But I saw that and I was like, oh shoot, that's gonna be interesting. So, I mean, are you going for consistency or are you going for speed? You know, that's kind of the battle that these guys have to fight every week.
Yeah, we'll definitely see who comes out on top here as we line up for 450 heat number 1. The board is going to go sideways. They'll run off the track. The revs are up, and the gate is down here in East Rutherford. 450 heat 1 off and running. A land rush into the first corner, and Leclerc, no surprise, leads us into the first corner, but did he push too wide? He did. Tyler Lang gets a hole shot, but then these guys are going to triple over top of him. Mixed bag, 4 wide, nearly going to the next corner. It was Holm, I believe, on the 17, who led into the second corner. He's going to maintain the lead. Crossover. That's Sullivan down the inside, who got collected a little bit right there. 93 also going down into that second corner, and Lang is going to come out the race lead, but then he cases, and going to the lead instead is Tyron Tomic.
Yeah, it looks like Lang went a little bit long on that step on, and then he was, Tyron Tomic goes cartwheeling there, starts sending it. More guys flipping through.
I believe that is. We also have, everybody going down.
Leonard Castellaneta.
No, that's Lang, or is it Castellaneta? So Blakely picks it back up.
Yeah, 12.
Pachon, was the rider down. He just got absolutely teed by Eduardo Simos and was trying to catch up. It's Castellaneta or Holm. One of the 2 guys are also down back there, so sorting through the field early on. But it's back up front to T. Lang and Leclerc 1 and 2. So here's our 2 fast guys early on here tonight as Lang almost goes through the front door. Going to have to do an option line right here. So Leclerc's going to close that gap down, and suddenly we have a little bit of a battle brewing out front here in 450 Heat 1. The 2021 national champion versus the 2018 Supercross and Motocross champion of that year, Alexis Leclerc, but also 4-time national champion. Is he going to go to the lead right here? Quad to the outside. Lang still controls the inside. Leclerc to the outside takes the lead. Lang trying to fight back, but the 7 takes over the point.
Yeah, Lang messed that rhythm up twice in a row. Now he's just kind of all over the place. He's got to settle down, and Leclerc going to the front. I mean, no really surprise there. You kind of expect it. He's the fastest guy in this heat race there, or Tyler Lang, I guess, with his qualifying time. I'm trying to say he's not, but you got to be able to throw it down consistently. There's a quad right there, triple quad double by Lang. We haven't seen that yet. Goes second place, a little bit further behind Leclerc. Not sure if it was faster with the 5-footer that you get out of there, but let's see if he can clean up some of these rhythm sections, because I do believe he does have the speed to get back on the rear wheel if he can, kind of clean up those small little mistakes. And we got Bob Joe right there in third. Now trying to make a pass on the outside.
Bob Joe around the outside, but Lang holding him off. And Lang Interesting spot to case that triple out right there. You have so much momentum going through, and those guys are usually pretty good about being sharp on their timing. So odd crash right there.
Oh,
and even
later.
odder one is he just gets sideways in the whoops and goes down. So Bob Joe goes up into second place, and into third goes Connor Holiak. Holiak back this week on the 154, looking solid. So Lang picks it up alongside Austin Bear going to the next corner right there. Looks like they could be teammates, but they're not. So Bear just settles in behind him. Chase Blakely in that 6th position with Adam Hall moving up to 7th. Tomic in 8th. And Castellaneta has moved into 9th. It looks like Sullivan's bullying people out of the way back there. He just got around Noah Baker, and now he's trying to close up to Aaron Rockefeller. All these guys outside of a transfer spot, but not too far behind Castellaneta in P9 as Rockefeller jumps off the track. Here comes Sullivan down the inside trying to move into 10th, and he's got it. He's Triley's. But Sullivan makes the pass into 10th, and now he's going after this man right here, Castellaneta, just up the road.
God, that was so ballsy there. We got another rider down.
That's
Is that
Holm, I
Adam
believe.
Holm?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Adam
Adam Holm down. I love that he wears the same gear every week because I can tell that it's him. But, man, look at these guys making some passes here, slicing and dicing. And Luke Sullivan, you know, he's not scared to get in there and throw it up the inside of you. Looks like he's got an aggressive quad line. Oh, no, he was just out of sorts there. He wasn't diving to the inside on purpose. That's just where he was pointing because he got a bad kick. So he's going to go drop a lot of spots here. And I was trying to see if there's any kind of names that don't normally make it straight through the heat races. Later, Thomas-Unis. See if any names that don't really make it in are coming straight through. Maybe Tomic. I mean, he threw down the fast lap time, but most of these guys seem to be consistent main event guys. But maybe this 450 class is just that deep. They're all kind of household names for us.
Yeah, we definitely know these guys week in and week out battling for these transfer spots. Good to see Noah Baker also up in the fight just ahead of this group right there. Adam Holm holding down the 10th position behind him, but Baker is in a transfer spot at the time that we're looking at him right there. Aaron Rockefeller just up the road on the 93. He was down early on. And then T-Lang had slipped back to this group after being in second. And, he's going to go further back as he goes down. So our fastest qualifier is down again. Oh, Adam Holmes down off the left side of the track as well. So more chaos for some of those bigger names as Lang tries to get going the opposite direction. He's going to get passed by Bear and slide back to 12th place for T-Lang. So rough go for the number 5, our fastest qualifier. Let's see if he can turn things around and try to slice his way back into a transfer spot, because so far it has not gone his way in the last few laps.
Yeah, I mean, a guy with his sort of speed, I mean, being fastest qualifier, you know that you have it to get back in. So if he can take a deep breath, settle down, and figure out whatever the issues he's having with his timing, maybe he's got a lot of stuff on his mind right now, but it's just like, oh my gosh, that was not on purpose. Just got a little bit sketch there. So that's another spot he's going to get back. That's going to put him back.
It's up to 16th, I believe.
Yeah, he's so far back there. But,
man,
I mean, if anyone's got the speed, it's going to be
where
him.
Is he? What, we can't even get the live time right. He's
P10!
10. Yeah, we missed him.
He's
He just
so
scrolled across
close.
the top of the screen. Simo's
He'll be all right until he gets doo-dooed.
Right now.
Doo-dooed on.
I know it sounds weird, people at home, that we continue to call him Doo-Doo, but that's literally his name. He literally goes by that on the forums.
Yeah, it's his nickname forever. We raced him for way too long, and everyone's been doo-dooed at some point, and you just know what that means, you know? It's just like getting bar shot. Like, yeah.
No one knew how to ride dirty like the P9 boys back in the day.
Oh, dude. And just people, if you're from a different country and you had the little ping bubble, Leclerc, Doo-Doo,
Cal Miranda.
Yeah, who's the one who came, the kid that works for Tagger now from Brazil? They were just they were the best.
Gustavo Diniz.
Yeah, Gustavo, he was bad too. But it was a good time, man. It's when you got that advantage. If you're not,
I don't know if back then we were claiming it's a good time.
I didn't have a good time at all.
Track. We're having a great time. Noah Baker is down, by the way, in transition here, and I think that just let Lang back into a final transfer spot. It did. So Lang back into 9th as we just reminisce on the past here. Simos, Rockefeller, Castellaneta, Tomic, Blakely, Bob Joe, Holiak, and Leclerc is our 9 transfer spots right now as Leclerc circulates on the final lap of the race. Down the inside, getting through the tough blocks a little bit right there, but a pretty easy race in the end of it. Despite that early challenge from Lang, Leclerc has made it look pretty simple as he comes down to the flag, and it will be the number 7 machine of Alexis Leclerc taking the win in 450 heat number 1. 7 machine getting it done, and by a pretty healthy margin, 22 seconds in the end for the fast Frenchman.
Yeah, I mean, he got out front so early. There's just kind of no competition when you've got someone like that. It's separated. I mean, him and Leclerc are just on, or him and Braden Carter are just on such another level. If you get up front in the heat race and you don't really have any pressure on you, it's just time to go and throw down laps. And those guys can put down so many laps consistently. You fast laps, especially. He was, man, over a second faster than the next fastest rider. Like, it's just ridiculous to be dropping 54 threes right there when your 52.8 was the fastest qualifier of the night. Tyler Lang,
a little tire tap over the
made it.
Whoever it was that, but yeah, he made it up into P5. Sully is going to the LCQ though. Man, it's just like the curse. I keep putting these guys on the cover of the stream, and then Sullivan absolutely has a dog water heat race and has to go to the LCQ instead. So Adam Holm also missed out. Noah Baker missed out. Let's see, Aaron Rockefeller did make it in the end. He was a little bit further up. Austin Bear. What else we got? Pachone, Spicer, Thomas Sunis, myself in warm-up looking like Luke Sullivan.
Luke Sullivan missed out twice. Dang.
Oh, man. Sullivan with the double
jinxed
downer,
him.
dude. So Leclerc ends up with the win in 450 Heat 1. And just like that, we're going to roll into 450 Heat number 2 as Biggie Cheese Gaming in the chat trying to rile people up with that ridiculously hot take. I don't think anybody's going to jump on board with that logic right there. But definitely big cap. No question about it.
I saw a video clip of MX versus ATV on Instagram yesterday.
The guy doing 2 jumps in every section.
Oh my God. How can you even like that? Like, that's where like this and bikes are just so next level for competitive racing, for realistic. I mean, they're both simulators. Like, that just doesn't seem fun to me. Jumping 300 feet because their tracks are triple the scale and then just stopping on a dime and then
I think the tough thing is that Legends, MESX, like any of those games, you can find ways to play them realistically to some degree. Like, you can kind of almost make it feel realistic.
MESX you can do realistically for sure.
Well, like even Legends, if you don't want to jump 9 jumps in one jump, you can check up and triple stuff like they do in real life. But because it's an arcade game and there's no fear of crashing by doing those huge jumps, people find ways to kind of break the game and do those things. And then it just is like, man, this just looks so dumb. I don't even get it.
I mean, but they're just already like so overscaled too. It's weird that the finish line is 200 feet long, you know, it looks like. And like the triple N, it's just so overscaled. If they found a way to dial everything in like halfway, the speed and the distance, everything, and make that work. But I mean, building sim tracks too, you realize it's not hard, or it's not that easy. But I've wanted bigger finish line jumps when they would build them to scale on the track map in this game. I'm like, dude, just throw it out another 10-15 feet on sim. Like, second gear on a 450, I want to be able to scrub it.
I remember back in like 2014 having that discussion with the former series track creator Checkers, Chris Riesenberg. And I was trying to explain to him how, like, hey man, real life Supercross triples don't pitch you 70 feet in the air so you can toss it dirty. Like, it's more meant for like scrubbing. As you can see all these guys out there nowadays, like, just barely flick scrub it in first gear and get over it no problem. And he's like, I don't care. I want big triples to throw big whips. And I'm like, I guess I can't complain about that because he used to put his triple face like wall jumps. Dude.
I think he did in 2015 when they were experimenting with the erode and like building it in. I think that's the year it was. He made them so big and steep. I'm saying if you don't whip the triple every single lap, you just shouldn't be racing. Like, you gotta have fun when you're out there. But I would whip it sometimes and be so scared. I'm like, you need to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah. All right, 450 Heat number 2 is off and running. We're still having a little bit of fun here in the booth tonight. Just kicking back and relaxing as we roll into 450 Heat 2 off the gate. Jacob Hubbard's going to grab the whole shot. Look at the spicy green gear for Hubbo this week. He's not running the team stuff. We normally see everybody in blue as someone got absolutely tossed like a wet salad through that second corner off the berm. Braden Carter's going to take over second place because of that. So the teammates run 1-2. Devin Davis made his first main event of the year last week in Atlanta. That's 12 straight seasons of Devin Davis making 450 main events out here. So kudos to him. And he's up in third place early on.
Yeah, I got a top 10 last week. Good ride for him, and nice to be leading the pack around here, but scary when you see all those dudes, and D. Davis actually makes a mistake on the outside by himself, lets everyone else run into him, and people are probably saying screw you, D Davis, right now in that pile up. Not like
Hubbo
that's
down.
never been said before. D Davis though gets back up in the transfer position. Hubbard though going to be right near the bubble. Looks like
By
probably.
the way,
around,
we got a two-stroke.
yes,
in
that's
here.
a two-stroke.
That is, I don't want to misnomer them. It's James O'Hashi.
Of course.
Hashi done. Over the triple we go. Oh, singlies as only Hubbo throws a whip right now. It's Carter out front leading this shindig right now. He's got about 4 seconds in hand back to John Heilman. So Heilman moved around all of that chaos as everyone started getting stacked up after D. Davis caught up in the whoops right there. Davis moves back into third. Hubbard now fourth. You got Adams fifth. Jeremy Smith up into sixth. O'Hashi seventh. Janice in eighth. And Eagland back into form this week is in ninth and trying a little bit of an alternate line right there going over the table. I don't even know what you would do. Over table triple double. It doesn't seem faster than on off quad to me, but Eagland knows what he's doing out there. That's why he's won way more races in a 450 class than I have, as he holds on to that final transfer spot, closing up to a little battle going on in front of him. O'Hashi on the two-stroke making it sing behind the number 14 of Matthias Janis.
Yeah, Janice, great ride here, and man, this top 9 super close. But as we just keep going further back and back and back, the names just keep coming. You know, it's like it's really difficult for these guys. I thought we'd miss the 250 riders, but the names, this field's just so deep as we're going back. O'Hashi now, did that put him in the final transfer spot?
Yeah, he's slipped back, and Caleb Hall is trying to make a move down the inside. I know Caleb Hall give some business from time to time.
Yeah,
really
but
just Chase Blakely when he's on the bubble spot for that final transfer spot. Going
Eagland
to the
went
LCQ.
down.
Oh, and Hubbard is down as well. So Eagland and Hubbard both slipping back. I think Hubbard's going to retain a transfer spot as he's in 8th. Hall goes to 7th. Heckman now up to 9th. JS4 went down. He's behind these guys. And you're right, Eagland did go back to 12th. Let's go on board with Eagland and see what it's like to try to charge up towards the transfer spot with one of the fastest riders in the game. Number 24 Machine in 3rd in the championship standing. 72 points back after missing last week in Atlanta, but still definitely a factor when it comes to raw speed and race victories, as he's already got 2 of those stamped off this season.
Yeah, both at Triple Crowns, correct?
Yeah, both at Triple Crowns, yeah.
He's hitting that. See, I'm not a fan. Maybe it's just a little bit easier for him to hit that quad double out. Sometimes you kind of decide to do that as a rider if you're having trouble with the timing, because that second triple, I have seen people over jumping it. And maybe it's just, third gear wide open for him to quad instead of having to let off. Look at that pass around the outside as he sees that rider make a mistake. Now dives in to protect the inside. Super great riding by him right there. You could see, he's got a racer's mindset, but goes a little bit long. That's going to mess him up. He doesn't get the quad. He does get the triple single, and he passes 2 riders there up in the 9th place in the transfer. And that's another spot right there through the whoops.
Yeah, Jeremy Smith is getting past. Hubbard down the inside as
Smith with
gets
some help.
tossed over the berm. So that is Eagland moving into 8th, I believe it is, or is he 7th? No, he's 8th behind Alex Heckman. Hubbard's back into 9th. Pilsner moves into 10th as he moved Jeremy Smith out of the way. Then Belar's got around Smith as well, as the 2 smoke back there of O'Hashi will go on board with him. Just listen to the music sing here for a minute as he tries to close up on these guys.
Yeah. Oh, look at him blipping the throttle over. It's like he knows we're watching, but now O'Hashi on the outside looking in. Doesn't look very fun being on a 252 stroke behind these guys. Little case job right there. Jeremy Smith gets into the back wheel, sends someone flying. Another rider goes down. Jeremy Smith with the mistake, unless he's right up the inside. No, O'Hashi gets a 3-piece. I was going to say it's going to be super hard for him to get by. Super easy, but another mistake in the same section later. Oh, we can't really hear because our sound is down, but I hope they could hear a panic rev over me screaming right there. Just,
so JS4 is going to move back around him and into 10th. It's still Hubbard in the final transfer spot. Eagland in 8th as he closes up on Heckman. Oh, Heckman almost gets landed on right there as Eagland tried to jump over top of him. And you can see dualies over the triple right there.
Sorry.
Heckman holding steady just as down the inside, Colby Eagland trying to make a move. Let's see if he's going to get it. Yeah, Heckman is not going to get the quad triple into the corner, so Eagland takes full advantage. Makes the move up into 7th, and now Heckman tries to hold on as Hubbard closes in from P9. You got Adams up here, Caleb Hall, Matthias Janis, John Heilman.
Devin
Davis
barking.
still in 2nd, absolutely barculating, as somebody else said in chat earlier on. And Braden Carter continues to lead with about 30 seconds left on the clock, plus that 1 lap. Carter in cruise control out front. And looks like we are already setting ourselves up for another week of Carter versus Leclerc for the main event. Hopefully this time it turns into a true battle between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, both those guys just went out, got a great start in their heat race, and just kind of, little miss cue right there by Carter, but able to save it. Both of these guys, Carter's got a 15-second lead. We still got some time to go. Devin Davis with a great ride, and that's no knock on him, but these guys are just on a whole nother level than the rest of the field. Devin Davis got his first top 10 of the year last week, so to be riding around still in second place, he might be looking for a top 5 here, keep moving his way up. Maybe he's just really gelling with the track, starting to gain some confidence. But Braden Carter versus Leclerc, it's going to be insane to watch if these guys both ride how they did in the heats once they meet up in the main event. And if they can both get a good start and ride with each other, I think we're in for a great night of racing, at least between these two championship contenders.
Yeah, it looks like Carter has got this track super dialed in. The way he's looking out front, Devin Davis, John Heilman, Trent Adams, Heckman's moved up a few positions. He's up into 5th. Janice is now 6th. Eaglin 7th. Hubbard 8th. Larson 9th. And then JS 4th. So we'll have to come check out that battle in just a moment. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at Carter as he goes through the whoops on the final lap. Skimming right across the top of those and looking A-OK doing it. And it will be Carter to match Leclerc. After Leclerc wins Heat 1, Carter wins Heat number 2 of the 450 class here tonight. Rolls into the main event with some solid form right there. Devin Davis is going to go through, as is John Heilman, Trent Adams, and Alex Heckman inside of the top 5. Man, ever since I made fun of Heckman before the last chance qualifier last week, he's absolutely just completely annihilated the competition in this heat race. Matthias Janis 6th, Colby Eaglin 7th, Hubbard 8th, Larson 9th. But here comes that big number 4. Jeremy Smith is closing up. Can Larson hold on to this final spot?
Yeah, Brandon Larson's been someone who, I mean, he hasn't even played for that long, but he's just a little bit inconsistent. Oh my God, he's killed someone!
Jeremy Smith commit murder from downtown as he goes up and lights up Larson. They get going still almost exactly the same position. Is Smith going to go for the double kill?
The inside
it's a
again.
Kilimanjaro. Oh, blocks the line. Can Larson cut back up underneath into the finish line? Smith going to defend the inside line. Larson tries to cut tough blocks. Smith goes to the main event. What the heck just happened right there? And Larson seems none too happy. I mean, Smith had the absolute launch line from quadding as Larson didn't get it into that corner. And Smith, normally the mild-mannered Jeremy Smith, absolutely lit up Brandon Larson for the final transfer spot. And in the end, he is going to go to the main event. Oh, no, he's not. Penalties come in at JS4. How many cuts did he have? I can't read that on the screen. 4.4?
2.41. But Brandon had only 0.2.
Wow, that's crazy. So Larson ends up in P9.
Yeah, that was the most out of anyone. Just a couple 1 point something.
Dang, JS4 with the murder that doesn't
JS4 is
even work.
going to jail, straight to jail for that move. I mean, you can do whatever you want for the last transfer spot. He overcooked the chicken, undercooked the chicken, killed Brandon Larson, straight to jail.
I don't feel
every
like
time.
JS4 is normally a guy that cuts the track either. So maybe JLV's system saw the takeout and was kind of like, hey, let's tack on 2 more penalty.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
They're like, you've never gone through the corner, the timing gate from that to the berm that fast. We're just we think you're cutting because you were 5th wide.
5th wide.
I mean, honestly, he probably was. Someone go back and check.
I mean, he stayed on the track.
So hard.
Stayed on the track.
He did the good, lean over so you're tired, you're touching tips, coming in the corner, and then he kind of falls on you. If you hit him standing up, you're both exploding, but...
By the way, A1's mic wasn't muted. He literally stood up and went to the TV
across the
screen,
room,
which is like 7 feet away to check on the cuts. So if he was wearing the headset I'm wearing, he may have been able to stand up and carry it all the way with him. But he has a standing microphone.
Yeah.
So.
I've thought about screwing this off and just holding it because then I can then I could sit wherever I want on the couch, and I mean I'm already laying down, but it's yeah, it's good times. I'm having a great time here tonight. I love when we get deeper in the series, but it's not even like we get more loose, but the action is still also 53.3. I think he beat Leclerc's time by 0.1, maybe tied it. I don't know.
Well, it comes down to TRT to that 706.
Yeah, I mean he just barked is what I'm saying. Those guys are on another level.
Thick out there.
Only a couple, maybe 6 guys in the 54s through the first 2 heat races, and 2 guys in the 53s. So going to be interesting for that. I mean, yeah, it's all right, Justin. He can go in the stands. That's the whole point, is you hit the guy so he's there. If he wasn't there, yeah, we'd all be in
Come
the
on,
stands.
Jacker, quit being a B-Lars apologist out there. We know you're biased. Come on. Come on.
I do like Brandon a lot, but I felt bad for. I'm actually kind of glad he got it because I felt he got murdered.
He definitely got absolutely teed up.
Well,
But he
then-
read the next situation pretty well. Like after the whoops, I thought he was reading it pretty well. Like if his front end didn't knife coming out of that corner, like he would have squared him up and got back by. So
he would have been totally fine. And then the real bummer is like I don't know if anyone on the track. If you go like the way that the tough blocks are shaped coming across the start straight, he literally you can't dive to the outside. We've had this track shape before. You can like go over there and look. Even there's no room to go, swing wide and dive up the inside. So when Jeremy was on the inside, he would have had to cut through the bales, which he kind of did a little bit, like trying to get close. But yeah, there's just no way to even apex. You just get a free pass. Like no one can block pass you coming into that corner if you don't ride it like a complete idiot.
yeah. Oh man, I need Nate to jump in and give me the drop of Justin saying, "Why are we treating this like a race?"
Yeah.
Because Justin's definitely routed up in chat now.
We need to get a soundboard.
Yeah, I need a soundboard.
You need also what's the stream deck for you, but then I could have a soundboard too. That would be fun. Just start clicking them. Just weeds laugh on all 12 buttons.
You're just gonna be over there replaying my voice crack of Carter winning in Seattle. We'll win, Carter!
I just want the pixie stick drop.
We
And
just
maybe
need a drop for
get a good dualies. Yeah, so then we don't have to sync up for it. We can get distracted. I'm down.
Remixing.
We also need one for when someone goes over the bars like that, though. Freaking panic rev. Oh my god.
I would take DJ Bentwood over DJ KO all day long for sure.
Thank you. Yankees just walked it up.
Yeah, I know Discord added soundboard. We got to get on it for sure. We got to come up with ones that would be good for the stream though. Like I don't know what fits well into the middle of like a broadcast. Like I guess dualies would be a pretty good one.
Yeah, dualies, stuff like that we say that's, you know.
Ricky going, "Oh!" as Kevin Windham goes over the bars and the whoops.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. All right. Well, like I said, we have our first East-West showdown of the season, but we're about to have our first East-West showdown of the night, more or less, as the 250 Last Chance qualifier is coming up next. And it will feature 2 red plate holders, which is about as rare as it gets, having 2 of them in the Last Chance qualifier. But Seth Shirley and Bryce Whelan both had not great heat races whatsoever. Shirley almost did make it back in, got put to the ground in the last corner. But, yeah, we have 2 red plates that need to make it into tonight's main event. And, man, they have pretty stacked competition to go up against. First East-West showdown race is going to be these guys trying to make it into the main event.
They didn't look very good, but I mean the good thing is they both almost worked their way up inside the top 10. So I mean if they get a good start, but man, short race, top 4, you've already 2 of the spots you would think are being taken up by other people, but then everyone else here has a lot to prove, you know. Buddy Parker's been barking. He had great qualifying, and I think he had a good ride last week, if I remember. I think he got a podium.
Yeah, man, we got to start
last week.
Bodie Barker, dude.
Bodie Barker. But some of these guys, like, you're not gonna just give up easily. Like, oh yeah, Whelan's got the red plate, especially if you're on the opposite coast. So most of these guys are gonna be saying, "Screw you." Like, I want to win this. So. I mean, we'll see what happens. You know, Weigman's fast. Gumason had a great start last time. Tanner Rogers has been barking. Like, it's definitely not going to be a cakewalk. And these guys, it's really going to come down to the start.
Yeah, another thing I noticed in this LCQ as well is it looks like Whelan only has 1 teammate in this LCQ, and Shirley has none. So Tanner Rogers is the only teammate that Whelan has, and I know that I don't like bringing up the team tactic side of it, but it happens in this game. It absolutely does. So if there's a situation where, you have Rogers maybe in a transfer spot, maybe, just maybe, he lets Whelan go if Whelan's trying to win this championship. But we'll have to see. It is definitely about as crunch time as it gets here in this 250 class. It's the first East-West showdown race we're going to have, and it happens to be a last chance qualifier with 2 red plate holders. Can they both make it in? Here we go, 250 LCQ in East Rutherford. Well, Whelan and Shirley are going to lead us into the corner nearly side by side. It is going to be Shirley down the inside. Whelan to the outside gets pushed out a little bit. Shirley gets the start he needed. Whelan does not. Can they stay on 2 wheels through this first section? It's absolutely crucial. I don't think Whelan did. I think
died.
He's down. Wow. So Shirley leads. Let's go back and find where Whelan is. Looks like, wow, literally dead last rolling through the rhythm section right now. And he's got to get through so many riders as he's almost going to go down again. And this first little group that was all looked like they were down in the first rhythm section is already trouble enough that he's going to have to get through him. He's literally dead last here trying to weave through these guys.
Yeah, and look at this. I mean, the speed differential is just so big too, but all these guys, you see them making mistakes there, getting into each other. It's all about how can you dissect it. This is where your racecraft comes into the point. You don't even have to be that much faster. The speed difference actually makes it a little bit difficult, but does he have the racecraft? And he's off the bike there, makes one mistake, gets tagged, and just like that, all the work he just made up passing those 4 or 5 guys, he is now back into dead last place.
Wow, so to reiterate real quick, Whelan's situation, he missed the race at Detroit, the round before we went on a break for the 250 East class. Even though he had a pretty big championship lead, he just straight up missed it. And Matt Cromie almost won it. Rasmus Balzer did win it. And Balzer were like, oh, you know, suddenly he's kind of back on the fringe of the championship a little bit. 22 points back, I think he was after that round. And then Whelan didn't qualify whatsoever for the Atlanta race last week, and they let him in on a provisional based on the fact that he's a defending champion and current points leader. That's just the rules and the way that they're written, so they let him in. He made it into the main event, but then didn't ride the way that he expected to in the main event. Balzer won, put Whelan on the back foot there. Suddenly, what was a massive championship lead was down to just 12 points entering tonight, and now Whelan is sitting on the precipice of not even making the main event for the second week, or for the second time in 3 rounds, I should say, and maybe, just maybe, throwing a huge championship lead away in the space of 3 rounds in this series. Unbelievable turn of events that this has turned around to be for Whelan here.
Oh, look at that. More issues right there. That was sick.
Oh, my gosh.
Little pirouette, little...
He's going to move up to 12 by the looks of it.
Spinner.
I mean, that's just so much time to make up in a short amount of time. We're already halfway through this LCQ. The only thing he can hope for is more crashing, more guys ahead of him going down, more battles for the transfer spots if it happens, and just maybe he makes it through. Let's go back out front because it is Shirley leading as he checks in on the lap 4. Hayden Stevenson second, Bodie Parker third, and Lucas Brune is in the final transfer spot as Thorson tries to close the gap down from behind. So unfamiliar face with Lucas Brune in the final transfer spot. Another name that is trying to make, I think, a first impression here this week. Whether or not he can make it into the main event still remains to be seen. Thorson, a guy outside looking in. But if these guys maybe get tangled up and more crashes happen, just maybe it allows Whelan to get back into the picture.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to need a lot of stuff to go his way, but, I mean, this is such a short race, and the gap is starting to get a lot bigger between these guys. 4 seconds to the next rider, just behind Tanner Thorson, who's on the edge. So, and then everyone's a little bit close, but I mean, it's just so much work to do. He's going to need 7 spots, now 6 spots in, another minute and a half plus a lap. So going to be interesting to see. Another like crazy thing too, just with looking at the points here, with Balzer only being 12 back, like Balzer has won 2 races so far this year, but he also was suspended for 1 too. So he's had to battle through some adversity himself, but also come out and snag wins whenever he had the opportunity. He's kind of made him push himself back in this championship fight. So it's not even just a gift tonight. If Whelan doesn't make it, he's also gone through some struggles and just kind of came out and took some wins and been as consistent as he needs to be, second place in the championship by 9 points and only 12 back at the lead. So he's going to be sole leader most likely if he has a decent finish at all tonight and Whelan doesn't make this. So just kind of shout out to Balzer, too, for just consistently fighting even through some adversity in this short championship.
Well, it's not over just yet. 4.5 minutes plus a lap have gone, and there's still a lap after the time runs out, 5 minutes in. and Shirley's about to check in out front again, so they're going to at least have 2 more laps to go this time by, and you're going to see a flash, I believe, in the background right there across the start straight. That is Whelan in the background, 2 straightaways behind the man in the final transfer spot right now, which is still Lucas Brun. So Whelan isn't making a lot of headway towards Brun just yet, but just in case Brun goes down or something like that, at least Whelan is still reasonably within a shout here to maybe make it in if something goes horribly awry for the Devastland number 405 machine here.
Yeah, I mean, these guys that aren't, normally making main events, maybe it's their first one ever, just kind of being there. Same thing, like it's such a big step for these guys and just really important. I mean, he's got a lot of room here, but still gotta bring it in, Lucas.
It's making a little mistakes.
So scary. Heart rate's so high. Hands are sweaty as hell.
So Whelan is up into 6th, and he's got to get around Paolini to move into 5th place here. And he's about to maybe make that happen as the white flag waves for Shirley out front. Let's see if Whelan can make a quick pass maybe on Paolini and get this thing as close as he possibly can. Scrubs down the inside. Into 5th place he goes. Only person that's left between himself and a transfer spot is Lucas Brun as the white flag waves. Bodie Parker is just up the road as well, so if he were to make a mistake and go down, you never know there. But Brun has got to hold on for 1 more lap to make this main event and spoil this championship run for Bryce Whelan this year. Jumps to the outside, a little bit hard on the brakes, but still good to go through there. Over this triple clean, and it comes down to, I think, these 2 main rhythm sections and the whoop section. You can see he's playing it safe, doubling in instead, not going for the risky lines, just doing that on-off option. Whelan's got it down to about 5 seconds back there.
5.5 seconds in about half a lap, though, is a lot to ask for. He's going to need a mistake no matter what.
And it looks like Whelan made another mistake, so Brun quads over, triples out, good to go. So it comes down to the whoops. Can Brun make it through the whoops clean? Final lap, hopping a little bit, but the hops are A-okay. He's going to make it through. Seth Shirley goes to the main event, so we have 1 red plate holder in, but the other one has been eliminated. Lucas Brun goes to the main event. Bryce Whelan is on the sidelines for the East-West showdown here tonight, and likely will watch his championship lead go away with it. Unbelievable.
He's got to be pissed. I mean, it's just such bad luck. It's crazy to think that this all ties down to his start. Him and Seth Shirley had such good starts. I don't know if he missed his breaking point or what, but they were kind of side by side. And then as we came to the line, he got pushed wide. I saw a Kawasaki rider give him a little love tap, but then he's about 10th place right on the right edge going into the rhythm section. And then it's not up to you. You didn't finish, or you didn't follow in and funnel in behind Seth Shirley in 2nd place with everyone else behind you. Now you push a little bit wide. You made 1 mistake on your start, and now you're going down and having to battle back from 20th. And then you really can't come back from that in such a short race. When your heart is on everything's on the line.
Yeah, he had 3.6 seconds of cuts anyway. Yeah. So even if you had gotten there, no guarantee you would have made it, as he ends up 9 seconds back down at the flag. So unbelievable. Brun, Parker, Stevenson, and Shirley. So Shirley quietly just put it right into the main event out of this one. No issues there. So at least for his side, did his part. And then the question remains, of course, what happens with him and Jet Holyhead in the main event with everybody on the gate. But at least for Rasmus Balzer, and really, honestly, everybody else, if you're Chromie, if you're Zollers, if you're all these other guys that are still, within 7 to 10 points of Balzer, you're like, dang, this thing just got blown wide open. If I win tonight, I'm suddenly ahead of the guy who was in the championship lead coming into the night. And you're maybe closer to Balzer in that situation. This 250 East class suddenly became a 5-horse race out of nowhere when it looked like it was about to be a walkaway.
Yeah, I mean, Balzer 12 points back, but then Alec Horn 9 points back from that. Talon Zollers 10 and Chromie 13. So that's the thing. If you come in and you say, oh, Chromie gets a second, Zollers gets a 2nd place, and Balzer doesn't have a great race, gets a 10th. Now you are, you're right there. You 3, you might not go all the way up and past Whelan unless you're basically winning or on the podium. But yeah, it's either a couple horse race or it's, Alec Horn. He could be in the lead with Balzer a couple points behind, and then Whelan behind them in 3rd. So it's going to change up this 250 East Coast Championship a lot. Seth Shirley now making it through, though. So he does still have, 11-point lead on Jet Holyhead. But hey, same thing. If Holyhead goes out and wins this East-West showdown, then Seth Shirley gets 7th. You're basically tied. So it's going to be really interesting. Both classes still That's sick. I love it when we get these storylines and it's not some runaway like the 450 class is. Braden Warder.
Fucking Braden
Braden 4 in a row, whatever. Calm
3,
down.
man. Come on.
3 in a row, whatever. He's just like Villapoto, best all time.
Tyson Fresquez comes out of the bushes. Excuse me?
Excuse me. Tyson Fresquez would be like if we had a Field of Dreams race. He would come out through the cornfield and it would just be Tyson and Hindi.
Tyson,
Just because they were just a pair. You had to have them both together.
Tyson just hits me up. If you build a Team Berry bike, I will come.
Yeah. We love it.
Tyson
Got
won
a lot
2
of people in
titles
the
with Berry,
chat.
2 titles with Volcom. I wonder which he considers more of his home.
Volcom was like his end of his career, right? Just him and like Hindi
But
and
he
the
won
boys.
2 titles with them.
I know, but I mean, he was never like not fast, and he just wanted to quit. He's like, yeah, my computer's old. I just want to kick it. We got a lot of people in the chat. UID number 2, August Sanders.
Dude, he's literally better than everyone else in MX Simulator.
Everyone
There's video
but
proof of
JLV. JLV says he's number 1.
No, but there's video proof of it. Like, there's literally a video called "I'm Better Than You" at MX Simulator. There's proof.
Okay.
You never seen it?
No.
What? Dude, come on. It's like iconic meme.
He's not as I mean.
August posted an 8-minute video of him doing transfers and called it "I'm Better Than You" at MX Simulator, and all the comments are like, "Wow, just because you're lucky means you're better. You probably suck. You don't even know what you're talking about." As all these idiots in chat are like talking to literally the guy who bought the game first and raced for literally like a decade in the game and scored tons of points.
Yeah, I mean, Leclerc's still number 1 though.
I thought Skyzor number 1.
Skyzor number 1. That's what it was. Hashtag easy.
Easy, dude. Oh man. All right,
450 LCQ.
let's have a little bit of fun. We got a missing tooth on the gate right there in the middle. We're gonna see who grabs that whole shit. It's 450 last chance qualifier time. Who goes through? 4 make it to the main event. Everybody goes home hungry, and we're gonna see who makes it into this first corner first. Adam Holm on the 17 down the inside is gonna grab the start. Is he gonna get the whole shot? He will, because he cut the inside of the corner off and blocked everybody from coming through. But jumping across, Sonny Spicer gets that trip quad trip easy dub to the front as he goes around Adam Holm. Get pushed out. That's Ethan Parks down the inside, passing Adam Holm. Then Thomas Suna is trying to pass. Who's that back there? Caden Speck down the inside is one who sent Ethan Parks off the track. Adam Holm in the race lead, though.
Adam Holm, great start there. Had a magic man right there. Into the whoops, though. Huge lead right now. He's just got to keep it going. Sonny Spicer there. Ethan Parks down hard. Luke Sullivan going to go past as well. Was that Jeremy Smith?
Sullivan,
the timing
Jeremy
looks.
Smith. Well, Ethan Parks is in the mix still. I think it was actually
someone
Speck
else
that went down.
Okay. Exploded. The timing already updated quickly. So Parks there, Sully behind him, and then we got a huge gap. Sully with the quad. Quad
Tap, double pitch to Chessie. No, doesn't go through the front door and goes down. So going through there is Jeremy Smith now going up into 3rd, and then Caden Speck back into 4th. So those 2 riders that were just outside of transfer spot are in. Trially's over the triple. Huge tosser. Pilsner going upside down and then putting Luke Sullivan on the ground. Sullivan having a rough go out here tonight. Not having any fun, literally less than 0 fun so far as he continues to sit outside of a transfer spot alongside Nicky Thomas-Sunas, though. So now he's having some fun as we're getting guys getting tossed off the track at the end of the straightaway. Thomas-Sunas gets sent over a burn by Sullivan. It's all chaos in the 450 LCQ because we're in a little bit of a depleted field with all the 250 East guys dropping back down for the showdown. But it's Adam Holm leading. Sonny Spicer across the line there in 2nd place. Jeremy Smith now up into 3rd. And Caden Speck in 4th as our front 4 riders breaking away a little bit. Ethan Parks outside looking in. He's under pressure, though. Alex Heckman sitting back at the semi going, I already got my ticket to the main event, Sunshine. Where are you? You going to make it through or not? Probably just sitting there teasing him in the chat right now. So Ethan Parks going for the triple quad double line now. He learned his mistake after getting landed on lap 1. Now up into P5 trying to close that gap down on Caden Speck.
I mean, I don't think it's his fault if he gets landed on by someone quadding on you, but he's like, I'm just straight up not gonna let that happen. Ethan Parks doing good right now. I mean, he's only 2.5 seconds back right there, so he's still got some time to work back up there. But these 450 LCQs, anything can happen. We got someone else going down actually after maybe that was a lapper. It was a Yamaha, but we still had 4 guys up. So definitely was not one of our leaders that wadded himself up in the whoops. So Ethan Park still grinding. Adam Holm pushing as well. Sonny Spicer, Jeremy Smith, Caden Speck. Ethan just still outside looking in. Caden Speck as we move up and see. So he's a little bit further back, but we got these two battling at it for third and second. Jeremy Smith chasing Sonny Spicer. They're going to toss.
Oh, Sonny
Oh, my.
Spicer.
So big, so deep.
It's just way OJ as he
Someone's going to clip
literally
that.
to flat. All right, hey, Nate, 132.35 on the broadcast. Get to it. All right, Jeremy Smith around the outside, off the track, makes the pass anyway. That's going to be reviewed by Mike Pelletier. He's going back to the truck to check that out right now as Smith moves up into second place. Sonny Spicer still right behind him, though, and then Speck trying to close that gap down. So 2, 3, 4 still nose to tail. Ethan Parks would like to say something about it. He's knocking on the rear fender there of Caden Speck, hoping for another mistake. Oh, we got a stack up. Sonny Spicer almost goes down coming out of the corner, and Caden Speck with the slow race to the corner. Spicer has to check up and funnel in behind him, so he falls back to fourth. And now Ethan Parks has a little bit much closer there to this battle in what is now turned into a battle for third place. It was a battle for second, but Smith has now gotten around and put a little bit of a distance between those two guys. So Speck pulling away from Spicer. Can Parks close this gap down to make things interesting for this final transfer spot is the real question.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you kind of or hope to happen with your Parks right there. You just keep riding it and making sure, see if these guys kind of slow themselves down, and they are. This battle 2, 3, 4 right now is starting to tighten up a lot, and he's just gaining so close on these guys now. One little mistake from any of these guys, you case a rhythm, you have anything, even a little bobble in the whoops, you're going to be very just close enough to try to make the move. And just like that, Sonny Spicer, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jinx you, but go Ethan Parks. I don't even have a favorite. It's cool seeing the guy in last, the underdog, win. Now Sonny Spicer, go back and take it back, dude. Take it back,
dude. Bring Pillsdog with you. Let's light
Bring
up the
Pilsner.
leaderboards a little bit. You got Ethan Parks now up into the fourth and final transfer spot with that gap back to fifth. And Speck still remains right there behind Jeremy Smith as our race leader continues to be Adam Holm, just putting in the laps out front. The number 17 Phil Ski and Snowboard ride. Looking to make another main event here and doing so with a nice little smooth ride in this LCQ. He's going to get the white flag next time by as 5 minutes have come and gone. So the question remains whether or not any of these guys in the front four will make a late mistake to allow Spicer to spice things up down the stretch. He's just got back around Pilsner, so they are now 5 and 6 respectively, trying to move forward a little bit. And behind them is Luke Sullivan. So Sullivan might somehow, some way, just find a way to be in 10th in the heat race and 5th in the last chance qualifier, which is by far literally the worst feeling you can have as a racer. Is he's going to try to pass these guys to get into 5th as they duke it out down the start straight. For some reason, Pilsner with the absolute takeout of Spicer, battling for 5th place, designed for a transfer spot. Although Holm did just go down and slip back to 4th, but he's still 7 seconds ahead of these guys, so it's not for a transfer spot. And they still took each other out. I don't get it.
I mean, I don't know. It kind of just seemed like no one wanted to give it up. So you're going to have one of the guys going down, both of them trying to go for the same line. Pilsner and Sullivan, though, here, they're just going to try to train on up and get both of them riding as fast as possible. Just saying, okay, guys, don't even touch me. Let's not go inside, outside, no block passes. We're just going to ride fast, pray for something to happen. We'll worry about that when it's time. You know, so, first time I was just going to ask someone to go outside, and that is so slow. All right. Really, I was going to ask, hey, someone tell someone in Discord, like, go outside on the stream just so I can see it.
Hey,
but Luke Sullivan did it too.
Jeremy Smith slipped back to this. Pilsner and Sullivan are going to get pretty darn close at the flag. Smith crosses the line 4th, but it's only 1.6 basically between 4, 5, 6. So any one of those guys might go through on penalties. Unofficially, it is Caden Speck with the win, Ethan Parks 2nd, Adam Holm 3rd, and Jeremy Smith 4th. Pilsner 5th, Sullivan 6th, Hall 7th, maybe not, going to get absolutely taken to the ground in the last corner. World's slowest takeout I think I've ever seen.
Just for 7th, too. Just casual.
So Joan and Baker are going to go by. Caleb Hall and Austin Bear will pick it up after they tangoed into the last corner. And Nikki T will cross the line. Sonny Spice is out of this one. Luke Sullivan on the gate. Man, I was just a bad luck charm for you tonight, Sully. I'm so sorry for that. And cuts come in. JS4 does make it through. Literally no penalties, 4 through 6 right there. So JS4 goes to the main event. Ethan Parks, Caden Speck, and Adam Holm also going through as well.
That was awesome. I love the takeout for 7. if I can't have it, you can't either. Just killing
so
people
they're in,
just
what,
for fun.
7th and 8th, and then they end up 9th and 10th because they took each other out battling for 7.
Yeah, I mean, points don't matter, you know. It's like whose line is it anyways?
Everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Yeah, it's
Back
no one's
flip.
line after you're both on the ground. Caden Speck with the flipperoonie there, just tossing it away right there. Can't stay in the rut. I don't know if you saw Axel Hodges' opening pitch, but he tossed that thing away. That was one of the worst opening pitches I've ever seen today. Did you see that?
No, what do you...
Opening pitch at the Padres game. He did the
did the
ceremonial first pitch.
No way they had Hodges do it?
Threw it about 15 feet again.
See, you know, unfortunately, I hate to say it, there's... people who race motocross are gnarly, right? But I tend to feel that they're the people that, like, didn't make it in stick and ball sports sometimes. They're like the people that, like, oh, I could have been fantastic as a baseball pitcher, but I just don't have the talent, so I'm going to go be gnarly and send stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to me, though, it surprised me. I saw someone comment, they're like, oh, the 20 minutes of practice in the living room, like, really helped. But I'm like joke, because it didn't. But I'm thinking, dude, he's so talented at anything. He could ride skateboards and, like, ride
you
BMX
can't throw
bike.
a baseball 60
He should be able to. No, that's why I'm disappointed. It makes us look bad. I'm like, I expected him to just stripe it because he's good at everything he does. He's like Pastrana, just not like Pastrana.
But I would think Pastrana wouldn't throw a baseball well either. Like, I would think Pastrana throwing a football would look goofy. Like, it just doesn't fit.
I mean, he looks goofy doing everything, though, too. Who do you think could throw...
Yes, I know RJ Hampshire.
Yes,
Yes, RJ Hampshire I'd like to have a word because he was literally a college-level baseball pitcher until he decided to pursue motocross more intently. But my point being is that I feel that most people that devote life to moto more or less are like your outsiders.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Like in school, I didn't have people that I hung out with that were like, yeah, moto, all right, cool, let's hang out, dude. It was like you either were part of the jockey clique that played sports or you did moto.
The only thing my only rebuttal to that would be there's so many golf or motocross players that are super good at golf. Like I've been looking at
do it nonstop.
Huh? Well, yeah, I know, but yeah, but that's still, it's kind of the same vein of like, it's a different movement. I don't know. Like I looked at Derek Kelly, like so like just, he's good. Like Jet Lawrence, like, it's like, yeah, I get they have money and get to do it a lot, but like to me, that's a sport. It's such a different thing. Like if you can swing a golf club, I feel like you can take 5 minutes and throw a baseball. Like you're athletic and strong.
I get it. My point isn't that they're not athletes. Of course they're athletes. They're literally, in my opinion, the best athletes in the world in terms of skill and precision and stuff like that. But I don't think they could have been a high school quarterback.
Maybe.
I think that they're gnarly and could have jumped the entire high school football field. But I don't think that they were out there throwing dimes to their high school wide receivers.
We'll see. I got a baseball. I'll bring it next time I go to the track and I'll play catch with some of these guys and I'll kind of see. We'll see, like, be like, hey, let's play catch. And we'll step back to like 60, 70 feet and see if they can like hit target.
Well, another problem too is that all these moto guys' shoulders are junk
That's
at this
true.
stage. So
oh, dude, if you gave Adam Cianciarillo a baseball and told him to long toss with you,
he would look like Tyler Rogers, the underarm.
Yeah,
pitch,
his thing would fall off. Especially after his first couple Cowie years, that thing is just popping out. I know they did go in and make it deeper, but gotta be careful saying that word.
Dude. Oh man, that's gonna be a stream drop already.
I saw it. Yeah, sorry, already
deep.
Got me. I know he already clipped it. There was a thing I like doing it. There was like a baseball pot on John Boy. They were like, what baseball players would be the best like QB, wide receiver, cornerback, and like running back. But I feel like that would be too fun for like motocross to be like in certain sports, like a tall guy, you know, that you think could throw, or just someone who's just a beefcake.
Beefcake. Oh, okay. That was super off topic, but a lot of fun.
We're back.
Let's talk about this 250 East-West showdown. We're missing one of the red plate holders. Bryce Whelan missed the main event tonight. Super weird situation there. Go back and watch Last Chance Qualifier if you didn't already. But championships are definitely going to take shape. Rasmus Balzer is looking for his 4th win of the year and taking over the red plate in that 250 East Championship. As Seth Shirley looks to retain the 250 West Championship lead, there's guys like Cade Matherly, Jet Holyhead also looking to get the red plate taken away from Seth Shirley. And I feel like we'll probably have someone unfamiliar win tonight. So this should be a lot of fun to figure out what's about to happen.
I think so too. I just called White Drizzle and Rasmus Balzer for the dub. One of the two. You know, I'm rooting for the other underdog always. Like I said, with whoever's in 5th place in the LCQ, I do want you to kill someone and get in. It's just more fun that way.
The sauce.
That was almost so sick. So yeah, I just want to see one of these guys win, you know, come in, try to take some points away. Why would you not want these championship title, unless you're the guy or really close friends who's leading? Why would you not want the championship title hunt to be, you know, a little bit closer? Most of these guys that are here with us watching the stream tonight, you know, we want to see these battle down to the end. So let's see what is happening.
All right.
White Drizzle, little Cade Watherly.
We got
Wade
Luke Solomon in
Watherly.
the chat, by the way, and he is very disappointed on his evening, and I feel so bad that I gave him the curse by putting him on the title of the show tonight, but it's the way it goes sometimes. All right, here we go, folks. First time all season long that these guys have matched up against each other. 250 East-West Showdown. Are you folks ready? I know I'm ready. Let's go racing. It's the East-West Showdown here at East
Oh.
Rutherford. Off the start we go. Some bar banging into the first corner and some huge stack ups into the first corner as a lot of guys go deep. It's going to be Frank Jackson picking up the RaceFactorGaming.com Whole Shot Award. Balzer's right there. Alec Horn with a good start. Oh, we got riders going down in 4th and 5th place behind them. Balzer tries to go to the lead. Jackson triples over top of him. Whoa, look at that cutover line. So that's Alec Horn trying to play defense and pushing Balzer back a little bit. Colin Allen goes by. Holtzy to the outside, I think, on the on-office. You got Cade Matherly in the mix as well. And early on, we have a weird mix at the front, but Frank Jackson leads.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun. This is what we wanted to see from the showdown, right? You want a weird mix of guys, you know, a couple different people as we see a move
Inside
coming
move.
up the
Alec
inside.
Horn to the front.
Easily takes that. He just got such a better drive. There's dualies for sure. Almost a little bit of trialies. So now Alec Horn is up front trying to run away, trying to take this thing by the horns. But he's got a gang of guys behind him. And it's a lot of guys that I feel like are similar speed to, they're all kind of similar speed. You know, not one of these guys maybe standing out too much. Balls are a little bit, but man, it's can be anyone's game right here. Colin Allen going for the pass up the left side. He gets it a little bit cleaner, gets the quad. Now Horn's going to drop back. He's going to lose 2 spots, 3 spots. He drops all the way back to 4th there. Jumps on.
He hit Jackson.
Killed him.
And they're
Killed
both
them both.
down. And they're in a rough spot right here. They're going to be maybe getting landed on by guys coming through. A couple guys getting in the mix and one guy going down. That is Cromie. Oh, Matt Cromie, who had a decent start, is going to get piled up in this mess right here. So he'll get going. Let's see if we can find some of these bigger names as we roll through the field a little bit. Zollers with a pretty good start is in the mix. Stevenson, Matherly. Wow, so I did not see Shirley is in 20th place. I also did not see Jet Holyhead, so we're going to have to figure out where Holyhead is. By the way, Tom Quinault did not start the main event tonight. Not sure what's going on right there, but we're about to have a change to the lead. Rasmus Balzer goes to the front, and that is huge for the championship in the 250 East standings. As it runs right now, Balzer would move into the championship lead and have a comfortable gap to do so.
Damn, he just said, "This is my title, not yours," and comes in, takes over first place, and he wants to run away from this, man. He's, like I said, 2nd place in points. Well, now pretty much guaranteed first, but he's trying to get a gap on the rest of the guys then, make this his title. Now that his championship contender that he was battling with missed the main event, he's doing all that he can to capitalize these last couple weeks. It'll be 2 wins in a row. Man, it'll just be a great ride by him if he can hold on to this thing. Colin Allen, though, super close to him, not kind of giving it up too bad. Made a huge mistake, which is how he lost the lead, but he's not dropping back. So anything can happen here as these two are starting to get a little gap away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, this has been an unbelievable ascent into what will be the championship lead for Balzer if he can hold this position, maybe win or maybe end up on the box. He'll leave here as the red plate holder in 250 East. You have to go back to the second round of East after some altercations at the first round for Balzer back in Houston. When we arrived in Tampa, he was actually suspended for a round because of some of the instances he was involved in at Houston, and because of that, it put him at a huge detriment in the championship. We all figured it was over for him despite as fast as he had been. Then he won 2 races on the trot. He won the Triple Crown at Arlington, and then he won the Daytona Supercross. Then at Detroit, or excuse me, at Indy, Whelan fought back, won the race, but then Balzer won the very next week in Detroit without Whelan there, closed the gap down. Whelan had a rough round at Atlanta. Balzer won the race there, and finally, Balzer is in a position where he can take over the championship lead here tonight. Unbelievable turn of events that it's been. How about Cade Matherly moving up into second place? Well, we said we might have an interesting winner here tonight. If anybody's going to stop Balzer's run at the front right now, it looks like the only man that could do it is Cade Matherly in second spot. And Matherly has never won a 250 Supercross before, so this could be a breakthrough night for him if he can get it done. About 4 seconds back, trying to close that gap down.
Yeah, he's been pretty close. I've been kind of marking him every time we can see him in the back of the screen, but looks like he gained maybe a little bit of time, but they're also spreading away from second to third to fourth right there. Hayden Stevenson also only a couple more seconds back. You see him in the shot behind him. So I think it's going to be one of these three. I don't really think with this 250 class if any of the other guys can make up that much time. There's already such a huge gap. And I love the way Matherly rides. You know, he hasn't been playing the game too long. Like, it's only been a couple years for most of these guys, but they make such a big jump and get themselves, work their way up towards the top of the class. It's really impressive watching Cade just, put in some great rides here recently this year. But, man, it's going to be hard. Balzer looks like he's pulling away, and with a little mistake like that, he's not going to make that.
Still went for it. Cased did not go down. That's crucial right there. So Matherly continues to work in second place. Stevenson third. Jackson slipped back to fourth after his crash. Colin Allen's now fifth. Schaefer sixth. Padani seventh. Cromie up into eighth. McIntosh ninth. And then Holyhead is 10th. But crucially, 2 spots behind him is Seth Shirley. So even though Holyhead started off a little bit better than Shirley has kind of come with him. And at this point in time, Holyhead would gain 2 more points in the championship. It'd go from 12 down to 10. But that's not enough based on what we expected out of Holyhead tonight with the rough luck that Shirley has had having to go to the LCQ, then a terrible start in the main event. Holyhead has not been able to capitalize like we expected.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Jet right now, you got to, every position from someone on the ground that you go by, that Shirley's getting that position as well. So what you need to do is start actually going a little bit faster, having some cleaner laps and making some real passes, putting guys between you and him. You can't just hope for either a mistake or maybe you give him too much time, you don't pull away, and Seth Shirley comes up and gets you. So Holyhead needs to be on his way forward here. He is up to 8th now, but, man, you got to be trying to put that thing inside the top 5, if not get all the way up to the podium. If you're Jet White Drizzle and you want to make up some championship points in this East-West showdown, this is your biggest, easiest chance to get it done. Imagine if he started up front and he was already in second place right now. He would be chilling knowing that his contender is sitting down in 10th place.
Yeah, and he's actually sandwiched right now. You have Shirley just back there in the background, but Holyhead has the pressure from behind with Braden Tharp, and he's trying to get around Rogan McIntosh just ahead of him. So teammates right here, and McIntosh not making it easy for Holyhead. McIntosh, of course, in his own little fight, wants to try to win. Actually, had the pleasure of meeting McIntosh a couple weeks back at Glendale. Nice dude, and showed me how close he was to taking the lead back at the round, I think, in Glendale when he was trying to go to the lead of one of the Triple Crowns. It didn't quite work out. Finally, though, Holyhead goes by, and it looks like McIntosh maybe did afford him that little bit of extra room. So now McIntosh trying to hold off as he cross jumps, and he gets gnarly into the side of Tharp. Somehow stays up, but it allowed Shirley by, so it didn't work out in the end. It's still Holyhead and Shirley basically nose to tail as they continue to try to work forward. Next up for them would be to try to catch Matt Cromie. So Cromie also going to make up a lot of points tonight on his teammate, Bryce Whelan. Not as much as he probably would hope at this point in time, but he still has a lot of racing left here as we have half of this main event done, half of it still to go. Cromie is in 6th, and Frank Jackson just ahead of him. Colin Allen up the road as well. Stevenson, a quiet 3rd place right now, just putting in his laps and doing a very solid job doing so. Shirley just got around Holyhead in the background. Shirley moves around Jet Holyhead, so that is championship points going in the favor of Shirley now, and we're going to see how Holyhead races him as they go for the straight-up battle at this point in time. No following anymore. I think Holyhead's going to try to fight back.
Yeah, I mean, this 250 West battle is heating up here between these guys. There's a mistake. Holyhead, he's all over the map. Is he able to bring it in? There's two more spots. Chromie is down now.
Yeah,
Chromie just a little bit sketchy there. I love that. It's just these guys, man. Now it's one-on-one, mano-a-mano, and he's got to just be pushing. The only way that you can make this more than a 1-point difference is if you guys work inside that top 5 and you start getting away to where it's 2 points per position. But these guys are so far back from the top 5 right now. They both got to kind of get on the move. And then if Holyhead wants to do anything, he needs to make a pass later on. So right now, it would be in their best interest just to kind of train forward as far as they can to try to gain as many points, so that it's actually will be a bigger point swing, because 1 point doesn't really do much for you.
Up and over the finish line jump. Holyhead has closed that gap down just a little bit, and not quite close enough yet to try to show a wheel to Seth Shirley, but also not sure if he's going to take a stab at actually maybe putting Shirley on the ground. Of course, that would super help him out, but is this a stage of the race where you want to do that with so much time left? And there's some guys behind him, but they're not as close as I'm sure Holyhead would like. And they both just made a mistake, ended up kind of working out evenly. And this battle continues. It's 6th place on the track, but really it is just for this championship battle, as down goes Frank Jackson, and it's turned into a battle for 5th place. So 5th for Shirley, 6th for Holyhead now. As we continue moving forward, Shirley makes a mistake. Holyhead triples down the inside. That is a pass back. Holyhead goes back in front of Shirley. Now does Shirley fight back to get back around Holyhead?
Yeah, we got to see. I mean, Holyhead made the move, and so now he's got to keep working up. I want to look at gaps, too. I was also kind of looking at points over here. So balls are out in front, and then Chromie, when he went down, Chromie was the only one really close in that opposite in the East Coast title hunt. Horn and Zoller is calling Allen. Allen's up there, but he's way far back in the points between those guys. So kind of bummer to see Chromie go down after being up ahead of these guys. But right now, this is the focus. Oh, Seth Shirley made a mistake there. I don't know if he jumped off track or cased it. But, man, Seth Shirley dropping back a little bit. So, I mean, this is all looking better for Holyhead. You got to see if he can unravel or if someone else can come up and make some passes on your championship rival.
Yeah, Frank Jackson did close that gap down, but did not make a pass. And then Rogan McIntosh, which is Holyhead's teammate, of course, is still lurking here in the background, hoping to get up there and maybe fight with Shirley as well, knock a few more points back to him. So Holyhead now up into 5th, and like you said, as he continues to try to march forward, if he can get to Stevenson, that would be another 2 points for him, because now we're into that realm where you're in the top 5 and every position is 2 points until you get to the lead, which of course is 3 extra points. But yeah, this is opportunity time knocking here for Holyhead, to try to get some more of those points. Colin Allen is just ahead of Hayden Stevenson, so these guys are still pretty close together. Meanwhile, Balzer out front has put it in cruise control a little bit. He's not got a full 10-second gap back to 2nd place right now, Cade Matherly, but it's enough where he can feel comfortable, do his laps, and not worry too much about it, as we are 11 minutes into this thing. And gosh, he's just got to be feeling so good knowing that the red plate's going to fall into his bike as we roll into the round at Nashville next week. Got to be such a weird feeling knowing that it's come to this far and you're going to have the red plate on your bikes.
Yeah, I don't expect this sort of thing. I guess maybe because the little bit of inexperience, but I didn't really expect this to happen in the 250 championship. We always talk about how they're so short. You got 9 or 10 races, and Balls are saving it there. But I mean, he's just so much adversity. You win a race, then you get suspended, and you're like, oh, sick. So like, I won a race, maybe I could be a contender. And then he kept racing week in, week out, and it just, for it to happen this way, you had, yeah, obviously a couple things happen, but only with one person. Everyone else has been racing just as much, and they haven't been able to amass the amount of points that you have. So it's got to be great for Balzer just to be, man, yeah, three wins already, you said? So this will be 4?
Yeah, this should be the 4th win of the year for Balzer.
And after missing a race, it's like, dude, you got it right there. You know, you make a mistake. You don't try to keep jumping through the rhythm. You slow down. Like, he's riding smart. He's riding great. Only a couple more races to go. And, man, he's going to have a decent lead now after coming out and winning. He should have a 15-point gap on Whelan? I think
it should
he was
be 14, I believe. 26
he was 12 behind.
Yeah,
so 14 points coming in with only a couple rounds to go. I mean, how the turntables, you know.
The turntables definitely flying around the track. We had a change, by the way. Holyhead is up to 3rd, which is a couple more points. Shirley just moved up to 4th. So Colin Allen has moved into 2nd. and he's just in a slurry of lapped riders right now. Not many
Cade
guys moving out of
Matherly
the way.
to
But
7th.
yeah, Matherly went
8th.
down a couple times, and that slid him backwards. So Colin Allen moved forward. You have Holyhead now in 3rd, Stevenson 4th, Shirley right behind Stevenson in 5th. And again, those are not teammates. That's the Yogi Designs ride for Stevenson and the JIBR.co ride for Seth Shirley. Still have McIntosh behind that's trying to close that gap down and maybe knock a few more points back for Shirley, but Shirley just wants to get so desperately around Hayden Stevenson right here, not allow Holyhead to gain any more points, because if Holyhead gets around Allen, puts 2 more points between him, then we're really talking about these single-digit gaps moving forward with 2 rounds of this championship left, and anything can happen here, but I feel like Shirley's going to find a way around Stevenson here soon.
Yeah, I mean, points from 2nd to 5th is such a big difference there. You gotta just keep pushing and keep going. But man, the guys that they're battling now, these aren't no slouches. Yeah, I know that you've gained time on them, but we're 14 minutes into the race, and just like that, Stevenson makes a bobble in the corner.
Oh, but he's going to get back. Shirley cased the triple. Meanwhile, by the way, Holyhead is in lapper hell right now. There are riders everywhere in front of him. Colin Allen is right in front of him, but there's 2 other lappers that are right in front of them that just are not really moving out of the way and still kind of getting in the fight here. Finally, that one moves aside. The 405, I think, of Lucas Brun was the man getting out of the way right there. And then another rider going up and over the finish line jump just went invisible. I don't know if he got kicked or no, he's back. So one of the Phil's riders is that Alec Horn maybe going a lap down. But now, oh, is that Holyhead down? It is!
Oh!
Holyhead down and over the bars. So just when we were talking about him gaining points and maybe getting a few more, with only 30 seconds left on the clock,
my God.
He's down, and he gets landed on by his teammate of all people. McIntosh lands on top of him. So Holyhead loses 4, I think, positions in the process. Stevenson, Shirley, no, he only lost 2, I guess, in the end, as Allen retains the 2 spot. Shirley goes to 3rd. And Shirley trying to work around Lucas Brun as well as he is going a lap down to Shirley. That just changed the complexion of this 250 West Championship as well. So we thought it was going to tighten up. Instead, it's stretching back out, and it's still not over yet as Shirley trying to get through all these guys. But, man, a double fallout crash for Holyhead really going to hurt him there.
And that's just insane. Yeah, the second crash definitely doesn't help, just as far as maybe your ability to get back up and try to regain some positions. That's another 10 seconds that you're losing on those guys to be able to fight back. And we're at 15 and a half minutes. So probably next time around is going to be the white flag. So It's like he doesn't have any more time to come back. And yeah, we were looking at this going to double digits or going from double to single digits now and it being tighter fight. And Shirley just staying so consistent, so smooth, never giving up. Just like that, you might be 30 seconds behind the lead, but I think you're the highest finisher on the West Coast, so you're not losing points to anyone that's in your championship hunt. And just like that, you're doing what you need to do and capitalizing after having such a bad heat race going to the LCQ, making it happen there when Whelan couldn't. He's showing he wants to be a title winner here in this 250 West class and making the most of this East-West showdown.
White flag is waving, by the way, for our race leader, Balzer, who just looked like he doubled the triple in the background right there. Just cruising it home on the final lap here. Battle for second is still on. Alec Horn is between these guys, still going invisible here and there, so Shirley's trying to avoid that. And then Colin Allen just went around Noah Viney. Now, Viney might get in the way. He's going to get in the way, and Shirley gets landed on a huge pileup right here. Oh, more riders going down. That's Stevenson, I believe, who just piled in. And I don't think Shirley lost a spot. He did not. So Stevenson landed on top of that group, also went down. And in the end, it kind of evened out. So Shirley retains 3rd, but he loses a chance to go after Colin Allen for 2nd. Final corner, Rasmus Balzer wins the 250 East-West Showdown in East Rutherford and takes the championship lead in the East standings as well. That is massive for him. Colin Allen, with a tremendous ride, is going to finish up in 2nd here tonight. And Shirley looks like he'll round out the podium despite all of that chaos on the final lap. And he'll extend his championship lead as he has a little bit of fun going into the final corner. Shirley on the box here tonight. Stevenson looks like he will end up in 4th place when all is said and done. And Holyhead right behind him in 5th will lament an opportunity that he had, and it fell apart in the end on those final few laps. Vanderbeek, McIntosh, Tharp down in the whoops, going to lose a spot right there as Zollers moves forward. So Zollers trying everything he can to minimize the damage and maybe gain a few more points on Whelan. But he's going to lose quite a bit to Balzer right there as he ends up in 8th. Schaefer comes across in 9th, and Tharp will round out our top 10. Crotty and Jackson will be 11th and 12th, as Jackson's the last guy on the lead lap. Chromie ends up 13th. Holt, Horn, Viney, Brune, Parker, Briscoe, Matherly with a DNF after running second for so long. Padani also out of this race. And Tom Quino, for whatever reason, did not start this main event. As cuts come in, and all of our top 10 riders stay the same.
Wow, great ride by Balzer. I mean, start to finish in that heat. Qualified great in that heat. He just kind of dominates, and then he comes out in the main and leads wire to wire pretty much. So, and I just love, he's got such a good riding style. He's wheeling down the start straight both times he's won the races tonight. He's tossing big whips. He just looks so smooth and flowy, and he just looks like he's out there to have fun, but he's also so fast, and now he's going to have the red plate. So what a great, huge championship swing there. And then we were also looking at Holyhead. Holyhead was potentially going to gain 6 points when it was from 2nd to 5th, right? And then it has that one mistake, did it all on your own. Yeah, someone else got into you afterwards and you got unlucky, but now you're losing 4 points. It's like, dude, it was going to be such a huge swing, and late race mix-up happens there. It's just, I guess, a bummer for anyone that wanted to see a really tight West Coast finish, but man, great for Shirley to kind of just, he's clutch, you know, he's ice in his veins, battle till the end, you know, never give up, and made it happen. So good for him. And now we get to move on over to 450s, but man, definitely showdown, East-West showdown did not disappoint. So we had some great racing here tonight so far.
And so it looks like it actually is a 14-point lead. Shout out to Cacti Tiger in chat for letting us know. 14-point lead in both championships, because it was a 3-point swing in the favor of Shirley over Holyhead. They had an 11-point gap between the two of them. So that's 14 points up for Shirley now over Holyhead. And then, of course, the 26-point swing in 250 East, going from 12 down to Wheelan for Rasmus Balzer. But he wins, gets those 26 points, and clears over Balzer entirely to go 14 up in the championship. So there you go. 3 rounds left. Well, really 2 rounds left for both coasts. 14 points in it. I mean, anything could happen, but I think that this is, you know, maybe a little bit of the biggest swing was that 250 East championship, but now it feels almost kind of blown out a little bit with that 14-point lead and only 2 to go.
I mean, yeah, storyline wise, if there was like a 1st and a 10th, if Wheelan got in, that would have been crazy if it just tightened up wire to wire down the. But I mean, Wheelan, he still has time to, you know, make something happen. So he's got to really come out swinging. How many rounds left do we have for each coast?
2. Yeah,
2 for each.
Next week will be Nashville, the final regular round of 250 East, and then Denver, the final regular round of 250 West, and then the East-West showdown in Salt Lake City. So
okay,
getting down to that stretch run.
Yeah, two for each. So you got to go in and you got to go get 2 dubs. Like, that's what you have to do if you're Wheelan. If you want to try to do anything, you know, I mean, it's not over for Holyhead either. They can all make mistakes, but yeah, you just can't make huge mistakes this vital, this late into a championship, you know. If you do that early on, you've got time, you have no pressure, you can just kind of go out trying to get good finishes and wins. And he did do that, but you can't do it again.
Yep.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Oh,
me twice.
Man.
Can't be fooled again.
All right, 450 main event time, rolling into round 14 from East Rutherford. Storylines going into this one, of course, is Braden Carter, 22 points up in the championship, just got the win last week at Atlanta. Just when we thought Leclerc was going to make a late run in this championship, Carter said, no, sir. So now it really feels like it's down to whether or not we get good battles between those guys down the stretch, and not so much about the championship fight. So hopefully we're just in for a good race tonight. It seems like close lap times all throughout the night, and they both won their heat race. So maybe mano-a-mano showdown finally?
I hope we can see that showdown. It would be an absolute battle. I mean, both of those guys with their lap times, the way they dominated the heat races, I really hope they do start together. I also do hope, like, Braden Carter just goes and dominates by like 50 seconds, you know, but like, that's me just kind of trying to see some domination. It's fun. I think great racing's fun, but I also think watching someone just dominate, it's also pretty cool. But I mean, I don't think Leclerc is going to even let that happen the way he rode in his heat race. I think we're in for a good one. I hope to God they both get through the first turn clean, because, you know, you don't want to see something happen like with Wheelan in the LCQ where someone goes down, it's just 1st and 20th. So.
Right, exactly. All right, folks, here we go. Get ready. It's round 14 from East Rutherford. It's the 450 main event. Let's go! Out of the gate, looks like Leclerc's got the jump on Carter down the inside. Out of the middle was, I believe, the 46 machine.
Look at that.
Doesn't quite
1,
get there.
2.
Leclerc, RaceDirectorGaming.com whole shot award, and grabs the whole shot. That's Rockefeller, I believe, going down. And look at this 1-2-3 battle. Leclerc, Colby Eagland, Braden Carter. Doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, Eagland, always a great starter. Got lucky there. Carter quadded out as well.
Carter's going to go
pretty
on off
close.
quad to try to get Eagland to the outside. Doesn't quite work, but he closed that gap up a little bit.
Yeah, look at these three. They're just so insane. Their speed, their racecraft, just how they ride with each other. And they do get a little close, but they're respecting each other all the time, and they know what a good racer is going to do for the most part. So look at these three already with a little gap here. And I think, man, I don't even know how long can we go into this race before one of these guys making a mistake, being this close and going to be so aggressive.
Look at Eagland went for the quad early on. Carter just cut the top blocks right there, so that's going to be some time lost for him eventually when we look at the penalties post-race. But right now, it is 3 riders absolutely in a dogfight at the front of this 450 main event. And right now, it's arguably the 3 best 450 riders in the world in Supercross in this game. So doesn't get any better than this. Like I said, Leclerc on the 7, Eagland on the 24, Carter on the 1. And this kind of helps out Leclerc, I guess. But look at this. Carter might get a 2 for 1. Oh, he lands on Eagland. And Eagland goes down. Carter stays up. Going into second place is going to be John Heilman as Devin Davis momentarily went into third. But Carter gets back through. He'll be in third. Now he's down. Devin Davis is down. I don't know how Carter stayed up again. That's going to be T-Lang up into third place. And suddenly a great battle that we had is over.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect to see these guys get back together a little bit as we switch to the 450 title there for you guys, just so we know what race we're on. Braden Carter going to have to fight back a little bit. Devin Davis, though, had such a great start there, worked his way up inside the top 3, top 4, and then made a little mistake. That allows Heilman still running second with Lang right there as well. And that's Carter chasing down Lang, but I mean, he's got a little bit of a gap, but if there's one person that can do it and get back up there, it's going to be Braden Carter. So he made one little miscalculation with the quad into the corner. Maybe their lines got a little bit mixed up. He might have cross-jumped a little bit, but, I mean, he's going to be pushing, hitting this line, and I think there's no doubt in my mind he can get back up.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's clearly the difference between a safe line and a Sendy line. I feel like doing that on-off. And right now, Carter's the only guy I've seen in this front group that's actually going for it consistently, as he's going to finally make that pass on Lang to move up into third place. So despite the 2 slide outs, he still only ends up 6 seconds back of Leclerc, and he's probably doing a little bit better times actually as well. So that time by 53.8 versus a 54.8. Yeah, went a full second faster than Leclerc. Now his next target, of course, will be John Heilman to try to get by. And the question for Leclerc is, if he does, when will he switch to that on-off line if Carter's going to continue to chip away that lead as fast as he's going down with it?
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be the only difference, right, between lap times and those two with what they're doing. But Braden Carter, I mean, it's also the risk versus reward. It looks like he's got it pretty down, and hopefully he doesn't crash on it right as I say that. But the big problem is that where we saw him go down the first time with it is you can't do that line as you're passing someone because you're quadding at a different time, and those jumps are so big. That's how he ended up getting into it with Eagland, was he just kind of quadded maybe a little bit too aggressively. That's when you got to pull back. So it's going to be interesting to see if he uses it when he's still around someone as he tries to pass Heilman as he moves his way up into second here.
Yeah, Heilman with the quad double out. Carter with the 3-3 pulls right up on the rear tire of the 43 machine. And it's going to be real close right here as they go down this first straightaway. Carter tripling in clean. A little short for Heilman and a mistake, and he's going to go down. So Carter tucks to the inside, goes 2-1 out. 4.3 seconds is the gap between he and Leclerc, but that triple across the start didn't help his case. So is Leclerc gone to it? Oh, he tried, and he almost went down. So that's going to allow Carter to close that gap right down, and suddenly the battle will be on again. 2.2 seconds out front, and Eagland, by the way, back into third place. He is now 7 seconds behind this battle. So who knows? Maybe this thing links back up again as Leclerc continues to lead onto lap number 6. But it looks like he tried to go to that line, and it didn't work out in his favor. Is this going to be the danger zone that he tries to do it again and maybe goes down this time?
Yeah, maybe he knows, just like you said earlier, that's the only spot he's losing time. He's got to jump in and do that, and he just went for it right there while he still had the gap, but now he doesn't have any breathing room. You make that mistake again, you're going to lose the lead. I also want to kind of, if anyone goes back on the replay, Braden Carter, when Heilman went down, Heilman barely clipped that, like was started to go down, and the second Carter landed on that triple in the middle or the quad, he instantly like fast twitch muscles to the left to avoid that. And that's like the difference. He was doing it before I even thought Heilman was going to actually go down. Even just when he knew he was going to get slowed up for a quarter of a second, just avoiding that. That's such good racecraft by these guys, and just the way their brains are working so fast. I mean, Leclerc does that as well, but all of these top guys, that's just insane. You could put in like 0.25 speed and watch it the second it happens, he starts turning.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was insane.
I was going to say the same thing about the fast reflexes there, because you could tell just like Carter read it like a book. Like he just knew that Heilman had cased, and even if he wasn't going to go down, he was going to get sideways in some shape or form, and he just redirected immediately. So great line there for Carter to recognize that and move aside. And he also got the on-off quad again clean. So now Leclerc knows that's the difference maker right now. Let's see if Leclerc goes to the line. He does not, and Carter is still going to keep doing it. Jump up, jump off, quad out, and that gap is coming down, but he cases it, so he did not get enough speed this time, and this one results in a crash. So how close was Eaglin still there? Yes, Eaglin is going to maybe go by Carter, who gets back on the whoops going the other direction. Eaglin now in the second place, and Carter makes another crucial mistake to allow Leclerc that little bit of advantage. Now the battle for second is on between Eaglin and Carter.
Yeah, man. Eaglin and Carter. Eaglin's probably like, okay, dude, don't quad behind me again. I'm trying to keep barking with you up front. Like, let's keep moving forward. But, man, Braden Carter, I don't even know what happened. It didn't seem like he'd been scrubbing too deep into that corner, but the second he came off the lip, I should have known his trajectory was just all wrong. But now he's digging himself out of a hole again, and Leclerc's up there. I mean, he's not going to lose too many points, right? You're only 4 rounds left in the championship, counting this race. So, and you can lose, 3, 4, 5 points every time and still be good, but you need to kind of finish second just for the sake of your sanity, and also just not even giving Leclerc a taste of any blood in the water, because, if you keep letting that happen, who knows what can happen down the stretch. If you have one blow up round, you want to be able to save that and not have to, be like Bryce Wheelan and blow your wad a little too early.
Yeah, so Carter's going to try to regroup here and go back after Eaglin. I mean, this is just good little battles right here at the front. We'll definitely go check out some of the other stuff going on throughout the field, but Carter trying to figure out a way back through. I noticed last time by that Eaglin quad doubled, and Carter right behind him. I don't know if he just misread the situation or what have you, but he like OJ'd the triple by quite a bit. He was going 3-3 for the normal line, and then when Eaglin quadded, I think he maybe just followed him a little bit too close and expected that was the speed that he needed, and he super OJ'd the triple, had to bounce double single into the corner, and it definitely cost him some time. But now, look, he's back on it. He's still doing
he's
on
done.
Off, and he saved it.
Oh my God, he's an animal.
Eaglin with a slide out, but no time lost there. So let's reset things a little bit. On to lap number 10 we go. Alexis Leclerc continues to lead the race 8 minutes in. Of course, this is a 20-minute plus 1-lap race. Colby Eaglin is second. Braden Carter is third. Tyler Ling is up to fourth, and Matthias Janis is rounding out our top 5 right now. Ethan Parks is in 6th. Jeremy Smith in 7th. Tyron Tomic right behind Smith in 8th. Might have a shot at the 4 machine, but he's going to back out of the challenge right there. So Tomic in 8th. 9th for John Heilman and 10th for Trent Adams, but he has Braden Castellaneta breathing down his neck as they have a little bit of a duel back here. So nice battle just ahead of them, and a nice battle just behind that little group as Adams and Castellaneta going at it for a top 10 position. Devin Davis runs in 12th. Adam Holm back here is in 13th. Jacob Hubbard 14th. Bob Joe is in 15th. Eduardo Simos in 16th. Caden Speck 17th. Connor Holiak is in 18th. He just got lapped by Alexis Leclerc. 19th for Alex Heckman. And 20th for Chase Blakely, 21st for Aaron Rockefeller, and Vilars is already out of tonight's main event. So Vilars with a DNF. We'll run through the field to kind of show where everybody's at as Leclerc continues to circulate out front.
Man, Leclerc's just automatic. Like these guys, it's funny, he made a couple mistakes there, or he wasn't even really making mistakes until he tried to do the line to keep up with Braden Carter. But when he's on his own, riding his pace, it's good enough to beat literally almost everyone in the world except for Braden Carter. So that just shows you, like, you can be so great at this game, but you have that one guy who's just a pain in your ass. It's like a little Kevin Windham vibes there, A little mistake there as well, but he's going to go ahead and save that. Man, Leclerc just so impressive week in and week out. Eaglin, though, 9 seconds back. Carter, 9.3, so 9.1. Guys going down everywhere. Leclerc just going through minefield. People do, like, just cartwheel.
Yeah.
How do you fall
that's
there?
That's the same rut that Leclerc almost went down coming out of the corner. He went right on the nose coming out of that rut. So I wonder if there's a kicker developing in that rut that's catching those guys out. Definitely a weird dynamic to follow along with, as Lang had a huge one in the straightaway. Lap traffic coming into play right now. I want to give a little bit of credit to Leclerc for, I guess, his smarts right here, because the entire time he did not go to that quad line even though Carter was continuing to do it. Then Carter crashed on it twice. Now Leclerc's the one laughing with that 10-second gap. So Leclerc, maybe he just knew all along, that's the line I'm sticking with. I'm going quad triple all the way through that section no matter what. And Carter had ended up biting him. But, man, these guys are trying to close that gap down, and if they get through this lap traffic in a hurry, Leclerc's going to run into some more of it. Let's see if Carter's still trying to go for that big boy line through here. No, he is not. Just pushing the envelope and going quad triple. I feel like he's trying to size something up on Eaglin again, though.
Yeah, he definitely wants it, and he doesn't have to do anything because Eaglin just dropped a front wheel in there, just started cartwheeling, and someone else follows him. Sometimes you see someone cartwheel and you just get scared yourself. I do think it's smart that Carter hasn't been doing that step online, and I'm wondering if it's just because he got smart and realized, okay, I'm not going to do it too close behind Eaglin or someone I'm battling. So we'll see if he goes back to it next lap, or if it's just that maybe there's a rut developing on the face and he's not as comfortable. So I was kind of curious to see if what was the difference, because he has been super close to someone for now, and I do think it's really smart that he hasn't been doing it. I guess either way, but now you need something that can gain you 9 seconds on Leclerc in about 8.5 minutes plus lap.
Yeah, so it looks like there maybe is a small kicker right there. And yeah, Carter's not doing it.
Yeah, he's out.
I don't know. You're right. It must just be that there's like a little bit of a lip on a rut or something like that he's not comfortable with pushing the envelope there. But man, he's still bringing that gap down. He just put like a full second going through the whoops right there on Leclerc, down to 7.8. So we still got quite a bit of racing left to go, and he resets fastest lap of the race at a 53.3, 54.8 last time by for Leclerc, for example. 1.5 seconds slower, but Carter's now having to go through that same lap traffic that Leclerc just went through. Navigating it quite well, but it's always tricky when you have to go through that lap traffic. Eaglin back here still third. Lang remounted and now got back around Janice for fourth, so Janice slips back to fifth. Tyron Thomas, let's talk about him for a minute. Great ride right now in sixth. We haven't seen him that much this year. I know he's been busy with some real-life stuff, so we haven't seen the nearly championship elective 250 West last year. But good to see him back, the rider out of Australia, looking solid and getting in the mix again with these 450 guys like we know he can do, battling with some of the best in the world like Matthias Janis and Tyler Lang just ahead of that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mentioned him earlier. His heat race was really just not good after he qualified really high this week. I was expecting good things out of a guy when you're not really up there in qualifying. If you go up and drop a top 5 in qualifying, like, you're feeling it already. So I expected a lot, but he had a rough start in the heat. I don't know if he qualified just way far back in it or did have to go through the LCQ, but having a great showing here in this main event so far, battling with all these guys. You know, the field is that much deeper, and he was able to put it back together, and I think this is what he wanted to show us coming into the night after that great qualifying time. So really props for him, and just a
Lang going
great
through the front
ride.
door? It is.
Lang, stop cartwheeling.
Got that rebound kicked up a little bit too high on the shock. Gonna have
he
to do
almost
something to change that up. Is that
went over
Rockefeller
there.
passing him? No, that is Rockefeller a lap down. So Lang will allow him back by, and that moves Tomic up into the top 5. So a solid ride, no question about it for him. He's going to try to keep Matthias Janis close, maybe make a pass up into 4th. Already 30 seconds back of the lead for these guys, though, so you can see just how much Leclerc is doing the Lord's work out front right now, just putting in his times. As John Heilman crossed up, we got Hubbard in the mix, as Smith just tire tapped Hubbard and went down. And Devin Davis is also behind these guys, so Smith is going to have to remount and try to catch that group again. Devin Davis, Hubbard, and Heilman. And Heilman is going to lose a spot to Hubbard, I think, right here. Yes, maybe Davis, too. Davis thought about it. Not quite close enough, as Caden Speck almost going backwards across the track, and Hubbard getting tossed around through the whoops, as now Davis gets a drive out of the corner to try to pass Heilman. Heilman almost loops out. Davis goes by. Nice move for D. Davis down the inside. Up and over the finish line jump they go, and Hubbard moves up into, what is this, 7th place, I believe. Davis up into 8th. No, excuse me. Ethan Parks is in 7th. Hubbard is 8th. Davis is now up into 9th. And that slots Heilman back to 10th. But Heilman just went down, and Caden Speck is going to go by him. That is not for a position. So Jeremy Smith goes into the top 10. And he's allowing Leclerc to lap him.
Later. Yeah, smart move by him, too, going way far outside, being a great lapper. He's been around for so long. It's just automatic for those guys just to be good, respectful racer when you're getting lapped. Good to see that. Devin Davis makes a little bobble there, though. Almost going to get landed on by Jeremy Smith, but Jeremy Smith goes back, takes that spot, and Heilman as well, trying to make a move back past Devin Davis. These guys have been going back and forth. Devin Davis with a great start. And that is Alexis Leclerc down. Yeah. So where is Braden Carter? How far back is he? Holy crap, he's so far back.
He must have went down somewhere and we missed it, but Leclerc.
He made a mistake.
Yeah, Leclerc is going to remount, and Carter is now going to smell a little bit of blood in the water again. I mean, he was obviously closer at one point, but now that gap is going to be under 5 seconds as he flies through the whoops, rips that corner, and certainly that gap will be, just that 5 seconds. So Carter lays in a 54.2 after Leclerc's 104.7 with a crash.
Carter had a crash the lap before, too. He had a 102.9, so he must have had a complete fall-off and a steamer lap time, but that kind of just evens out, man. If that means with those lap times, Braden Carter had it down to about 7 seconds, so that would have been an easy first place takeover right there. So we'll see if that gets in Leclerc's head, and maybe it kind of upsets him, doesn't let him ride as smoothly for the rest of this race. He's got 4 minutes plus a lap to hold on to it, but you're going through faster lappers that are going to be more difficult to pass. What do you think? What do you think he does?
Yeah, I don't know. The tough thing about it is all those lappers that he went by got back around him while he was on the ground, so he's got to repass a lot of the same lappers that he's already passed once. Or he's going to pass Alex Heckman here again for put him 2 laps down if he can make that stick. Heckman making it a little bit more difficult for him, but finally allows him to go by. And then Carter, by the way, has Eagland all over him. So Eagland got back into the mix, and Eagland might take a shot at Carter for second place before Carter can think too much about trying to close back up on Leclerc. So it's not even just a battle between Carter and Leclerc for this race win. Eagland wants a shot at getting up into the mix as well, and he might still have a shot here as Carter makes a small mistake, and Eagland's going to try to get down the inside.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy. Look how deep that rut's getting to when they come on there. Those guys kind of making mistakes when they get in there, and Braden Carter throws it away. Oh, my gosh. Eagland in the second, hits him and able to stay up. Yeah, Colin has a different mic.
I do have a different mic this week. I apologize. Technical difficulties at a microphone break. Sometimes your dog goes through cords, but we'll get it sorted. We'll get there with time. And Leclerc, meanwhile, puts 10 seconds on the field once again thanks to that Eagland-Carter kerfuffle. So Eagland remains in the 2 spot now as he got around Carter. Carter slips back to 3rd as we got someone getting tossed in the whoops. Is that Holiak maybe? I don't know, but Tomic is up to 4th, so Tyron Tomic having a good ride forward, moving into 4th place, and outside shot of getting on the box. You also have Janice moving around everybody as well to get into 5th, so Lang has slipped back to 6th. 7th for Hubbard, 8th for Ethan Parks, 9th now for Jeremy Smith, and 10th is Castellaneta right behind him. So they'll continue battling, even though Leclerc is coming to lap them again here rather soon. As they battle, they're getting a little bit mixed up, and big off right there in the background behind them. Not for position though, as a rider 2 laps down by the looks of it. So Devin Davis continues on behind Leclerc as Castellaneta still has Jeremy Smith just in front of him. We're down to the final 2 minutes plus a lap here in this one, so time about to expire, pretty close to it at least. And Leclerc in control out front, but it's just going to take one mistake trying to go through these lapped riders for Leclerc to maybe toss this thing away late. Otherwise, he's looking at yet another win this season. And hey, gonna gain 5 points on Carter right here to bring it back down to 17 points back with 3 to go. I mean, yeah, it's not necessarily close, but it's not completely gone just yet if he can have that gap.
Yeah, I mean, if having Eagland up there is pretty cool, but it just sucks. I mean, if you look at the gaps, 15 seconds to Eagland, 16 to Carter. Tomic, wow, great ride, 23 seconds and 33 to Janice, but so it's like there's not that many spoilers in this 450 class that can run with these guys. So if you're Leclerc and you're thinking I'm going to chip away, 3 to 5 points by winning every week, you kind of need some help to do it. Definitely help with missing lappers right there, but it's he doesn't really have the spoilers in between. Maybe once we get back 250 West and East split up again and you get a little bit of spoilers in there, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's Leclerc. It's a little bit too little too late if you're really trying to take this championship back. It'll make it more interesting, but I don't know if the title's going to be his. We'll have to see as we come up. Maybe stop him from clinching at least around early.
Yeah, well, battle for second is back on again, just as I thought Eagland was going to close the gap down on Leclerc a little bit here late. Carter has instead closed the gap down on Eagland. And this is Carter trying to get 2 more points back in his favor and limit the damage from a 5-point deficit to just a 3-point swing to Leclerc. So it'd go from being potentially 17 points back as they run to 19 points for Leclerc if Carter can move around Eagland and get into second place. White flag is waving for Leclerc out front.
Oh
Carter
my
gets
God.
up on top, just doesn't have enough drive to get to the inside, so he'll settle back in, live to fight another lap here as we go into the white flag. And it's Eagland versus Carter, 1 lap to go in a battle for second place.
I don't know how he didn't make that pass. It seemed like he ripped out of that corner so fast coming into the whoops, but then his speed just kind of died down. Maybe he was just knew how fast he can go, and there it is. Eagland stacks the triple, but then he messes, or he gets it back. Carter messes up, and just like that, flip back. So 2 mistakes from each of the guys, or 1 mistake from each guy, and it's just exactly how it was before. Maybe even a little bit bigger of a gap for Eagland. So Eagland now here trying to keep and play spoiler in this battle here. Braden Carter has a lap and a half to go.
He's going to try it in the whoop, certainly,
is
right?
This the last lap?
Yeah, it is the last lap.
Dead
White flag
last
is
lap.
out. Oh, man,
He should have
where
went
does
for the
Carter
step
go?
on line. Oh, my toss.
Meanwhile, through the final couple of corners, Leclerc's going to go the other way on the start straight right there. It actually got pretty close between them in the end.
Oh!
Carter's going to cut back up underneath. He's going to get Eagland. Leclerc is going to win in East Rutherford. Eagland's trying to get Carter in the last corner. It's close. It's a race to the line. It's going to be Carter by a nose. 4/10 in it. They only ended up 4 seconds back to Leclerc, who I think went down on the final lap. And Tomic ends up getting 4th. He only finishes about 11 seconds off the lead. Great ride for Tyron Tomic. Matthias Janis will round out the top 5. T. Lang ended up going down in the whoops on the last lap, going for Lang. Oh, Hubbard's going to get by Lang. This is going to be a drag race down the start straight as well. Lang doesn't exactly get it clean. Hubbard is going to defend. Final corner. Hubbard crosses 6th. Lang 7th in the end. Castellaneta looks like he's got 8th locked up as JS4 is in 9th. John Heilman, last guy on the lead lap in P10. And then Ethan Parks, Devin Davis, Adam Holm, Bob Joe, Connor Holiak, Trent Adams, Chase Blakely, Eduardo Simos, Alex Heckman, Caden Speck, and Aaron Rockefeller was the rest of the field. So we'll see those guys coming through. And, oh, man, Heilman went for it and went down. So it is going to be JS4 ending up P9. Heilman will wrap up the top 10. And boy, oh boy, Leclerc.
Keep an eye on Braden Carter cuts. We did see him go through the bales once early. It's only 4/10, so he might lose that spot, and that would be, there it is. He does. He had, holy crap, he had a lot of cuts. 4.42 seconds.
Yeah, even Eagland had 1.8, 1.4 seconds of cuts, so naughty little cheaters that they are. But
6.
yeah, so Carter slips back to 3rd. Leclerc with the dub here tonight moves to 17 back in the championship, and Carter isn't going to quite get the swing in points that he was hoping for tonight in his favor as he tries to clinch the title perhaps around early. He's going to have to continue to fight off Leclerc as Leclerc gets it done in East Rutherford. Wow. All right, well, that was a lot of fun tonight. A lot of fun overall. As we jump back in studio with you guys, Kellen Brower, Andrew Wood, thank you guys for joining us. Again, apologies for the microphone tonight. I just had a microphone issue. We're going to try to get it sorted as we roll into Nashville next week. So we'll have another East round, a regular East round, and another 450 round. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I want to give a quick shout out, by the way, to Devin Davis, who donated $10 earlier and said that he had made 12 consecutive years of top 10 finishes, not just main events. He'd already made 7 main events this year. So shout out to D Davis, $5 super chat there. So thanks so much, Devin, and congrats on another main event and another solid ride. I know you're up there early on and faded a little bit back with some crashes, but still good main event for you. And of course, shout out to Alexis Leclerc and Rasmus Balzer on their big wins here tonight in East Rutherford. Any final thoughts? East-West Showdown, 450 racing here tonight at East Rutherford, Andrew.
I mean, just great racing. The showdown was everything I wanted and more. I mean, we had one title got extended and one title got, a huge flip on its head with Whelan, just so dominant all year, and then having that happen, and then Leclerc coming out, Carter making a couple mistakes, Leclerc coming out and winning. I mean, Skyzor's number 1, and August Sanders is the best Nostradamus, of our generation. So it's just been a great night of racing, and the season just keeps getting better and better as we roll down to the end.
Absolutely. Another thing to consider a little bit with Carter and Leclerc, even if Leclerc doesn't win this title, him and Carter are kind of going back and forth on career wins right now. I believe it is actually Carter on 19, Leclerc now on 18 career wins between the two of them going back and forth. They're still trying to catch Seabolt, who I believe is on 24 career wins, and then Tyson Fresca is on 29. So the career wins list is a little bit of a toss-up between Carter and Leclerc. Fun little battle to kind of focus on aside from the championship fight there. So we'll live to fight another day and see what happens next time out. We'll be back next week here on Start Your Systems Init Esports on Twitch and ESTV for the Nashville MX Simulator Supercross. But this has been round 14 of MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross, presented by MotoOption, RaceX Suspension, Phil Ski and Snowboard, Underground RC, and of course Init Esports and Race Factory Gaming. I'm Kellen Brower. He's Andrew Wood, and we thank you guys for tuning in to round 14 from East Rutherford. We'll see you next week in Nashville.